Alright guys, welcome back for the next podcast. Me and Killy, once again. I am Vesper. So we got a lot of Street Fighter 5 stuff to talk about today, Killy. Anyways, Killy, what's up?
I'm doing good.
You just watched that Matt Damon movie, right?
Yep, The Martian.
How was it?
I
Good?
really enjoyed it.
Dude, I need to catch up on so many movies right now. I need to watch that movie with Emily Blunt, where she's like, I don't know, some undercover cop or something.
I don't remember the title.
It's got really, really high ratings on Tomatoes. I want to watch Everest as well. But anyways, we're here for Street Fighter. This is probably going to be a really long podcast, man, because we're going to talk about a lot of things here. First, we're going to talk about Zangief, of course. Then we're going to talk about some Street Fighter 5 changes, more updates that we've heard of anyways. And then we're going to talk about some leaked list stuff, some scary stuff.
Yeah, a lot of news came out.
A lot.
Short amount of time.
Yeah, man.
So there's a
Definitely.
lot to cover.
It's been crazy, dude. It's been crazy. We almost have a full roster here. And in case you guys are wondering why I haven't released any news about an unnamed character that recently got leaked, it's because I'm fucking scared. Because last time I released a video on leaked information, I had to go through almost a year of hell on my YouTube page. So I didn't even bother taking the chance. But, you know, unless you guys live on the rock, you guys know. We'll talk more about this character near the end of the podcast. But first, let's talk about Zangief. So, Killy. Actually, you know what? First, I should tell you, I was working on... Because Ono, he tweeted 2 pics, right?
Yeah.
Of the next character that was coming up. Well, it wasn't the next character, but another character in Street Fighter 5 that's not revealed yet. And it was 2 hints. And then one, it showed kind of the Zangief stage background and a spectator and some alcohol and chains, and it's all industrial and shit. There's Armika in the background.
His belt.
Yeah. And then the second screenshot was Zangief's belt. And I was making this huge video. Well, it wasn't huge, but I was giving out all the information. Even Ono said in his tweet that Blanca intercepted it or something. It was a reference to Zangief's Siberian Blizzard, his Ultra 2.
Yeah.
All this information hinting at Zangief, and I was like, it's so blatant that it's Zangief going to be revealed, but at the same time, all of Ono's hints have threw people off. We had, if I remember, the banana peel on the ground, which people thought was Blanca, turned out to be Birdie. We had the tornado, which everyone thought it was Cody, but it turned out to be Rashid. And then we had, what was the third? Oh yeah, the character spinning around, and we thought it was corkscrew blow, but it was just Karen's super. And I was like, maybe it's not Zangief, maybe, but it was. And yeah, so Zangief's out. Like I said, we had 2 classic characters left, and then 2 brand new characters left. And some people are saying, where'd you get this information that's 2 classic characters left? And I don't even remember now, but I swear a Capcom rep said it. So Zangief pretty much just confirms that. Another thing too is that Zangief kind of snowballs information for us because with all the leaked lists, there's one that's really, really close, and Zangief kind of makes this list even closer. But we'll talk about that later. But just having Zangief coming out, having Zangief as a classic character snowballs information for us. It gives us a better idea on what the final roster is going to look like, and future characters as well. So anyways, Killy, just give me your general, what do you think of Zangief? Were you surprised by Zangief? Tell me what you're feeling right now.
A little underwhelmed by Zangief. I'm not a big fan of
Play every character.
It's just I'm not a big fan of Geef.
But does he fit in this roster though?
I guess I just don't like the
Does
fact
he fit more than Vega does?
Yeah, because
I feel like the overall impression of Zangief right now is kind of similar to when Vega was revealed. It's kind of I guess it's cool, but I was kind of hoping for so and so. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a lot of World Warrior cast members returning, and I'd rather see. Personally, I want to see a more even distribution of the different series, 4 from World Warrior, 4 from Alpha series, 4 from the third straight.
And that was our initial guess too, before the roster was even revealed. But it turns out it's going to be 8 from
World Warriors.
Yeah.
4
that
being said, though, I like the animations for Zangief, minus the V trigger. That one looks a little bit awkward.
Robo-Geef.
Yeah.
Uh,
Besides that one though, I like the fact like when he does the SPD,
mm-hmm.
he like grabs the person's head and like um shoves it down, right? Like to get into the pile driver position, right? But
Okay.
like in the other games, you see him like grab you, and the next thing you know, they're upside down. But
Okay, okay, yeah.
but
Of
when they
course the
showed it in the
animation, yeah.
trailer, it's like he actually goes through the entire motion of
That's
like
cool.
doing it. So
I
like there's
never I didn't really notice
a
that.
lot of detail
Mm-hmm.
into it, and like his facial expressions are very animated. Like they're really detailed. Like the animations for Geef are really nice. Like
They are, man.
even his wind pose, right, where he's like
Mm-hmm.
slapping his chest like multiple times. Like the wind pose has a lot of personality. Like he has a lot of personality in his animations, and that's what I really like with the reveal. But overall, like him as a character, I'm not an amazing fan of Geef. Like it's just like it's
Okay.
Geef. It's the same old. It's just another grappler, that kind of thing. Granted, they did make a lot of changes in his gameplay. Like
Which we'll talk about. Yeah.
they still kept them relatively intact, but
Yeah.
there are changes to his gameplay.
Yeah. Um, I just like the size of his model. Like it's pretty big in this game, man. He looks like scary. You know what I mean? He looks really huge.
Yeah,
He's got like a wider build than like Street Fighter 4. You know what I mean? There's probably gonna be a lot of exclusive combos on this guy.
probably.
But and I do like the animations too. Just like when he walks back and forth, it doesn't look wooden and retarded like in Street Fighter 4.
Yeah,
Because you know when you're watching Snake Eyes, he's always weaving,
yeah.
and when he's weaving, Zangief just looks so stupid because he's so wooden, right? So I'm glad they changed that. I'm glad like how he looks like in the game. So Zangief, yeah, he belongs in the roster. They do need a full grappling character in the World Warrior section of the roster. So you know what I mean? If we're just putting classic characters into the game, Zangief definitely deserves a spot. And I strongly feel that, like, you know, Dalsum should be in that slot too, but we'll talk about that later. But Zangief, yeah, it is what it is, right?
Hmm.
When I watched the trailer, I wasn't, like, blown away. But then again, when I watch any character trailer, I'm not blown away by anything. But I was just like, yeah, that's cool, man, Zangief. I'm pretty surprised about how soon they revealed him. And just how fast they're churning out these characters, man. We almost have the entire roster now. 2 characters left. It's pretty nuts, man. It looks like Capcom's going to spend the rest of the year, I guess, talking about additional modes to the game. Story mode. And all this other stuff. And with this character, like, all these characters are going to intertwine in a story. Because Capcom, they held that L and they said that, yo, our story mode was ass. And they're basically saying that they're going to make it up to us in Street Fighter 5. So, obviously, it's going to be something similar to the Mortal Kombat series, right? Where they're probably going to have, you know, cutscene, match, and then all these characters are going to intertwine together somehow. I hope it's not just that. Even that kind of formula, I don't really like. I really hope they add some more things, especially stuff that, like, teaches you how to play the game as you gradually progress. Something like the Alpha system. Do you remember Alpha when you after you equip your special moves or you learn them as you go?
Oh, the World Tour mode.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
I
Anything
think
just
everyone loves the World Tour mode.
yeah,
That
because
mode was
like
pretty sick.
I don't know, because when I played Mortal Kombat X and I was playing the story mode, like when you get a new character like Johnny Cage, for example, you play Johnny Cage right away. The first thing I do is I pause the game and then I go to the move list and I look at all of his moves and I'm just overwhelmed and I realize, excuse me, I'm not even playing the game. You know what I mean? I'm just sitting down trying to learn his moves first, and then I'm playing. I wish it's integrated and more fleshed out, and it's more seamless. Because but fighting games are complicated. It's tough to integrate that. But it'd be cooler if it's just like you have no special moves, and then the game teaches you and adds it to you during the match. That way, you never have to pause the game. You know what I mean? Like it'd be better that way. I
Yeah,
think,
it'd be
anyways.
better if it's more interactive.
Yeah, we'll see what they do, right? And then we'll talk about that later. But I really hope that they don't just cut and paste it like MKX. I really hope they don't. Okay, so Zangief, man. I did the trailer breakdown for Zangief, and the trailer breakdown was really easy to do. Everything was really straightforward from what we were seeing. And then Capcom Unity also posted information on Zangief, but apparently it wasn't enough information. And so it made it really easy for me to do the breakdown. But now we have some gameplay footage that came out all today. So I wrote down some notes, and we'll go over it. So first, let's just talk about Zangief's. What do you want to talk about first here? Let's talk about his special moves first. So Zangief only has 4 special moves, or technically 3. He's got his SPD, so his command grab. He could also do it in the air, and then he has his atomic suplex. It's the command grab with kick, but there's no close-up variation this time. So it doesn't matter if you do it far away from the opponent or towards him. He's gonna put up both his hands and he's gonna start running towards you. And like I said, there's no close version of it.
So does he travel a set distance each time, or is it just?
It's exactly like Street Fighter 4. Like he puts his hands up and he runs towards you a certain distance, and if the opponent is too far from him, he'll just whiff a throw.
Okay, but if he's like right next to you and he does it, he just basically comes out like right away. Then
yeah.
Okay.
But it's not like different like Street Fighter 4, where it's like a completely different animation and more damage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like he does like two suplexes or something, right? And like you use it as a punish basically. Like I see like Snake Eyes do it after like a focus attack hit or something like that. Excuse me. And then Zangief has his lariat, but I think there's only one version, just the punch version, and then fireballs still go through it. So his SPD, his command throw, it doesn't seem to do too much damage, surprisingly, actually, but the EX version does a lot of damage. But I only seen it done on Cammy, the EX version. So there's that. It doesn't have armor. I checked. I saw people hit Zangief out of the startup animation of the EX command grab.
Okay.
And then the air version, you can EX that as well. Don't really know much about that, but having an air command grab is great. He has a throw whiff animation too. Like if he whiffs it, he actually like grabs the air. And it doesn't really alter his fall timing too much, but it seems to.
Does it put him in a counter hit state?
Don't know. Didn't see a punish afterwards. But like if he was like neutral jumping over a fireball, I wonder if he whiffed the throw animation, would it move him forward a little bit? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Some way to advance towards the opponent, because Zangief is really slow. The Street Fighter 5 version is very slow. And then the atomic suplex. This is the command grab with kick. The EX version gives him armor. He's got 1 thing of armor. So that's really good because it's an advancing, unblockable attack that has armor. Sounds good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then his lariat, you can't EX the lariat because, 2 or 3 punches. I'm not sure which one is which. So the first interesting thing here, guys, is that initially I thought that Zangief's command grab would be a half circle back, and his super would be 2
like
half
double,
circle backs.
Yeah.
But I swear Capcom said they're gonna take out 360s and 720s, but I guess it's in. So the command list is confirmed that Zangief's pile driver, his command throw, is a 360 motion. The kick grab is a 360 motion with kick, and his super is a 720 motion. So it's funny to say, but Zangief has the hardest motions in Street Fighter 5 so far. there is still shortcuts. You don't have to do a perfect 360. You know what I mean? You could do like a chicken wing motion and still get the 360. And then, you can still dash forward and, churn that 720 motion. So doing the air command grab would be pretty tough. But besides that, yeah, it's nothing out of the ordinary for a Street Fighter 4 player, or even before that. But I find that very surprising. I had my concerns before about giving characters command grabs that are half circle back motions. And I really had my concerns about it. And maybe Capcom had the same concern. They're like, if we make it too easy to give these command grabs like a half circle back, it'd be really dangerous to have like a walk forward half circle back kind of thing.
Yeah.
Obviously you can still do it with a 360 motion. It's just harder. It's just harder, right?
Need that entry level barrier for some things.
you do, and it's really important for special moves to have these inputs for various reasons. And I think I talked about this before, but it's very important for charge attacks to be charge attacks, etc.
Now, I wonder what's the startup on his command grab?
Not sure, but if the EX version got, punched out of it, I could imagine it, it's like at least a little bit more than a normal throw, right? But I'm not sure, like, It definitely has some range, like the light version or whatever. So I
I
can't
just
really
hope it's
talk.
not like instant startup and people churn the butter and block strings and then you get
Hmm.
SPD'd and you're just rolling
Especially
your
with the shortcuts
eyes.
still in there. Like I said, it doesn't seem to do insane damage, but the EX version seemed to do a lot of damage. But it was on Kami, so it's kind of hard to judge. But yeah, man. But here's the crazy part, though. The crazy part is that in the current build, Zangief is able to combo into his command throws.
But only off of
Both,
crush counters or
no, he's able to combo into all of his command throws and his super. He can literally go standing leg kick into SPD and it will combo.
oh crazy. So like SNK then.
Even on his character card that was recently released, it even showed like crouching leg kick, standing leg kick into SPD. I don't know if that combos, but there is like footage that literally shows him going like standing light punch into SPD and it will combo, or standing light punch into super and it'll combo, or jumping hard punch into super and it'll combo. So as long as they said they couldn't really find anything, they couldn't find links for Zangief in general.
Hmm.
But they said that as long as you're point blank and you do a normal attack, you can combo into these command throws and into his super. I haven't seen his super whiff yet. I don't know how far Zangief runs.
Yeah,
Because it
that's
seems like
true.
he runs forward a little bit, right? So, but you can definitely combo into it. So, isn't this, Killy, isn't this like the KOF engine?
Yeah, it's like SNK styles.
SNK, every command card can be comboed into, right?
It depends on the startup.
Is that
And
is that really affect the fighting game too much?
it's just it hasn't been done. I can't really recall Capcom doing this before. There might be like a miscellaneous game where they allowed that. I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but like normally in SF they don't. That's kind of what differentiated like grappler characters from an SF game
Mm-hmm.
than like other franchises is that they didn't let you combo into them and then create different mind games off of
Yeah.
it.
They have to be neutral. So
So
that's really weird. Like when I was watching the trailer, I thought it was just in a crush counter state because they're technically stunned, so that makes sense. Or when Armika or something throws them against the wall, they're technically stunned. So all that makes sense. But yeah, you can literally just combo straight into it. That's crazy. That might be another
that's
reason why it's a 360 motion.
it's just new. I don't think it's necessarily over the top or crazy. I mean,
It's not game breaking.
no, we've seen this before. Well, we've seen this in other fighters, so
Hmm.
nothing
Like there
like
still will be scaling. You
yeah,
know what I mean? There's still gonna be scaling. Like doing a reset would still be worth it just because of the reset. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's
It's
fine,
just
man.
yeah, it's just kind of interesting that they took this route.
It is, and it makes the character not as boring, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
Like any new like combo, like routes is okay with me, honestly.
I think it makes him more interesting because it's like it's something he wasn't able to do before, and now he can.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Okay, so let's talk about some of his command normals. I'm just trying to look at my notes here. So he's got his charge up punch, which is like that Hulk punch. I don't know what the command is. I'm assuming it's hold down hard punch. It has armor, one hit of armor, and it's also a crush counter because it's his hard punch. He has his headbutt. It's a forward hard punch, just like Omega version, and it neutralizes fireballs. At least one hit of it. It's got a lot of startup, and it can also be used as an anti-air. Um, this I think will be used a lot in the future, more than just using his V skill for dealing with fireballs because it advances him forward a little bit. Um, it doesn't come out that fast, but like I said, it can also be used as an anti-air, which is great, and
It's
it does a
pretty
lot of
crazy.
damage because it's a forward hard punch, right?
Probably does a lot of stun too.
Mm-hmm. He also has this hop. It's his forward medium kick. He does this little hop. It kind of looks like Hugo's move where he goes down down kick.
Is that the one he used as an anti-air in the trailer?
No, that's his crouching hard punch.
Okay.
But his forward medium kick, it blatantly looks like an overhead, but it's not, and I don't know why. It's kind of strange. So, I don't really know what it's used for. I guess to be like it's like a low crush, right? Because it's high profile, and you use it just as another pressure tool to get close. I guess.
Could whiff
Kind of
it
sucks
and
that it's not
go.
an anti. It's not an overhead though. What's that, Killy?
Probably could whiff it and then maybe go for a gimmicky SPD setup.
Yeah. As for air command normals, he still has his splash. I think it's like down hard punch, the body splash. Probably
Oh,
used as like his cross up, right?
yeah, yeah.
So obviously that's still in. Knee drop is still in. I think that's down and light kick in the air. So just a way to change his trajectory in the air.
Does he still have his short jump or whatever they called it?
No, that's a good question. I haven't seen anything. I haven't heard or seen anything about that. That's a good question, but I don't think it's in the game.
I think people forgot about it too in like
Yeah, I
SF4.
forgot about it. Dude,
Like,
you just
like
reminded
remember in
me.
SF4, like in Super or something, like, oh, is this new? It's like he always had
Yeah,
this.
that's weird, right? And then yeah, so no other air command normals, including that headbutt, the one that does like insane stun. That's not in
Yeah.
the game, unfortunately.
No neutral jump, fierce.
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. Most of his normal attacks in general are very like they look like most of it like his everyday normal attacks. I think his crouching medium kick looks like his down forward hard kick from Street Fighter 4. It doesn't knock down. It's got really good range. I'm pretty sure that's his crouching medium kick. But for the most part, all of his normals look very like what you would expect. Very like all the way back to ST-ish normal attacks. Just
Yeah,
with
they
better
kind of
animations.
took that kind of direction with Geef, right? Because remember, he's missing green hand. There's no forward moving.
Yeah, and he looks exactly the fucking same as he's always looked. They took no chances with this guy.
Well, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I don't think they really need to mess around with his design. I mean, yeah, it could have made him a little bit more interesting.
It's Street Fighter 5, bro. It's time. Start changing what these characters look like a little bit. We could take a chance. We can, look how hype everyone got when Ryu had a beard, man. If you told like some guy who doesn't play fighting games, it would just sound like the stupidest thing ever.
I
But
don't know
like,
what
when
you would
play Street
change
Fighter,
with.
it's hype.
I don't know what you would change with Geef though. Like maybe give him the cape.
Yeah, give him a fucking cape, man. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Seriously. Well, you know what? They're gonna have fucking costumes, so there's no reason even complaining about it. Costumes will fix this. Let's talk about. So, have you seen his dash, Killy?
No, I haven't
It's
actually.
really good. It's like fast and abrupt, like Third Strike styles, but it doesn't have that crazy recovery. Like in Street Fighter 4,
Yeah,
he has
yeah, it's-
it seems like it's fast, but it has so much recovery that he kind of just like
It kills it.
carrying his weight over. He doesn't have that in Street Fighter 5. It's just a burst, so it's really good, especially when you what's it called? Compare it to Street Fighter 4's Zangief's dash. This dash is great. Just let me read my notes here. Forward dash, headbutt. Yeah, that's it for the general stuff on Zangief. So let's talk about his V skill first. Okay, so Zangief's V skill. Capcom Unity posted some information on it, but there's actually a lot of information that they didn't explain. Especially like absorbing one hit. He can definitely absorb more than one hit and other things. So, okay. So, according to the notes, remember, all this information I'm telling you guys is information that was given to me by, like, the community. Not me personally, but, posted on forums or videos and stuff. And from me seeing stuff in footage. So, everything I say can be deconfirmed in the future. Anyways, you tap the mediums, and then Zangief turns red. And then he starts flexing. And then he can absorb a hit, basically. This is very, very similar to Ryu's V skill at this point, where it's just a parry basically, exactly like Omega Zangief. When he parries, he does gain a very little amount of V gauge, and the damage he takes is not true damage. It's recoverable damage. He'll take grade damage when he absorbs a hit, but the damage that he absorbs is reduced. It's not like if you get hit, if you absorb a hard kick, for example, it's not going to do the same amount of damage in gray as a hard kick. It's actually reduced. Because of this, he gains a very little amount of V gauge when you're parrying. And then it can only absorb one hit. It seems to be able to cancel into itself, like Ryu, so you can, parry multiple hits. But I'm not positive on this because I haven't
look
seen.
pretty tough based on the videos.
Yeah, it's fast. It's definitely fast, but I'm not sure if it's a direct cancel because I haven't seen like a really really tight like multi-hitting string being parried. So you can only absorb one hit, and then when you hold it down, he starts flexing even more, and then if you tap a direction, he'll start walking forward, and you can't stop. You can't just like walk forward, stop, walk forward, stop. You got to keep moving. At this point, you can absorb another hit, so a second hit. And then if you let go, he starts flexing, and it's an actual attack. And at this point, he can absorb a third hit. Okay, so up to 3, just on the normal version without V trigger. Okay, the actual flex gains him V gauge, but it's a very, very little amount. A very little amount. This has got a ton of uses. You might even say it's better than Ryu's V skill in almost every way.
Sounds hard to use though, because based on the videos, it's like really hard for them. If they're just mashing jab, he'd get hit out of it eventually.
And that's why I'm curious if he can cancel into itself or not. But the thing is, he can definitely like parry or use his V skill, absorb an attack, and then hit you with an SPD. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. It makes it really dangerous to go in on Zangief. Unless you're using very far range pokes. But if you're doing like jab, jab, jab stuff, it's very scary. Being that close to Zangief. The only difference between his V skill and Ryu's is like Ryu takes no damage when he successfully parries. And he gains more V gauge.
Yeah, the V gauge is important.
And Ryu definitely can cancel his V skill into itself. We don't know if Zangief can. So, it seems to absorb any hit, any direction, high, low, left or right, doesn't matter. And when Zangief walks towards you, when you charge his V skill, it's very, very slow. He walks very, very slowly. And his flex seems to have good range, but it doesn't knock the opponent down. It's safe on block, and it doesn't seem like you can combo after it. So, it's like +1 or some shit. What else? If you recover from Zangief's V skill, like when he's done flexing, and the opponent hits you afterwards, it's a counter hit. So this is dangerous. Just like Ryu's V skill is very dangerous if you just guess and mash on it. I like this because I want as many ways to get counter hits in this game as possible because of the crush counter system.
Yeah.
So you can't just spam this shit. And yeah, man. And when your V trigger, this is another thing too. When Capcom Unity said like you can either hold down your V trigger or just tap it, and it controls when you spin with Zangief. But they never mentioned that when you activate it and you just tap it, you have an install. Like your meter starts draining, and you have a passive from this point. And the only thing we know the passive does is that when you hold down Zangief's V skill, it can absorb an infinite amount of attacks when he's walking forward, which is crazy. But the weird part is that I've seen him absorb like a million hit attacks, but then I've seen him not able to absorb a super, like Ryu's Fireball Super, normal Fireball Super. It just flat out beats it. Like
kind of like
cannot
Focus, I guess.
Sorry?
Kind of like Focus. Like SF4 Focuses, Supers would beat it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I guess so. Like I don't know if it's every super, but definitely Ryu's Super cannot be absorbed.
Actually, that's not necessarily true, because Red Focuses could absorb Supers and Ultras, so not quite the same.
I honestly don't even know. But, yeah. So, anyways, let's talk about his V-Trigger now. So, but anyways, yeah, but the V-Skill, like, being able to absorb infinite amount of attacks when his V-Trigger is active is really good because it has synergy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's really good, man. And like I said, Zangief looks really slow in Street Fighter V. He's gonna have troubles getting in, and like this is a really crazy tool for him. I thought it would be Green Hand. Everyone thought it would be Green Hand, which might have been better, maybe, just so he has something to advance and neutralize fireballs. But this is definitely a way for him to get in, and it's cool. It's cool. You said though, Killy, before that you didn't really like too many V skills being similar, and you were kind of like you were saying that Ryu, Nash, Bison, and Zangief all kind of have a very similar V skill. Not in the sense that they all work around fireballs like almost everyone does, but in the sense of how it works, like it's a kind of a parry.
Yeah. And
you didn't really like that, right?
Well, it's just you had too many overlapping ones. And Nash, I wouldn't call it a parry. It's like Ryu, Mika, and Geef have, and to a lesser extent Bison.
Okay.
They have a similar thing. They have this case of where they parry or absorb an attack, and then something else happens afterwards, right? Like Mika, she can absorb one attack while she's on the mic, and then it buffs her Like the buffing of her throws was interesting, but just the initial like, oh, she can absorb an attack, so you can sort of like use it to like absorb certain attack strings.
Mm.
And then Ryu's like, obviously it's the parry. He's the first one to have it, so it was fine.
Hmm.
But then you get Geef, and it's the same thing now. It's like he can absorb attacks,
Yeah.
and it's just like they're kind of overlapping with each other in some ways, and I find that a little less interesting. I
Hmm.
want each character to have their own unique V skill in a way, where you don't have this sort of like overlap. Because if you look at Geefs, it kind of is similar to the parry. Like, sure, he takes great damage and stuff, but
Hmm.
most people will say it's a parry,
Hmm.
and it's possibly even better than Ryu's parry.
Hmm.
So like, I don't like the redundancy, and I also don't like one V skill that's similar to another V skill. Like this V skill is now overshadowing Ryu's V skill
Hmm.
in some ways.
Hmm.
Maybe not true in the grand scheme of things. We'll have to play around and see if
But
like that.
I see what you're saying. It
Right.
can't, you know what I mean? Like, it potentially can be.
Yeah.
And I just feel like with this V trigger and V skill system that they added, Capcom has so much potential. They their imagination is like they could take it to the limits, man. They could put anything they want.
You could do a
And
groove system, man. You could even have like
yeah,
multiple
but
V, like different V triggers, V skills
mhm.
per character
But when
down
you
the
have
road.
something like Cammy where her V skill is simply just her, spin knuckle, it's just so uninspired. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can
It's a
have
little.
anything. You can give her anything. She can take out a fucking gun, man. It doesn't matter. But like to just take a move from another game and put it in, it's just uninspired, man. There's
But
no
that's
other way
kind of
to
like
put.
Karen though. Like her V skill
Hmm.
is like I think it's one of her enders in her Rekka strings in Alpha 3. I
Okay.
know I know that animation for the move exists in Alpha 3. It's like one of
Okay.
her I think it's one of her enders in her Rekka strings. I could be mistaken. I have
Hmm.
to double check that. But
Hmm.
like it's an existing move and that's all they did. They took the existing move and they turned it into her V skill. Or they took her counter, turned it into her V reversal,
Hmm.
right? But like yeah, it's a nice like you took away the move and now you have a way to kind of showcase the animation again to
Yeah,
kind of
man.
make it familiar for the fan base, but at the same time it's like oh you could have done something different.
Yeah, man. Like I feel like the best V trigger, like aesthetic, or not V trigger, sorry, V skill aesthetically is like Birdie's, because Birdie, like
It's so vastly different.
nothing like this in Alpha, and eating a banana, throwing it down on the ground, and throwing the pop can it's a low, and then eating a donut and building a bar, like that is good. It adds personality to the character, and it was nothing from his character before. It's perfect, man. They should have really worked like from there. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And then back to Cammy again. Like her V trigger is just this normal install where she just does like multiple hits and it pierces and it's like, you know what I mean? It's just so plain. You know what I mean? Like you can add anything you want. And like I said, like in the alpha builds of Street Fighter V, they were really onto something. I feel with the V triggers, like they were complex the way they were, but they were definitely onto something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like redoing multiple hits and then all this random shit. Chun-Li going crazy with like the massive fireballs and all stuff. They were really trying to make some crazy stuff, and then they just simplified it. I think a little too much, or a little too scared to take some chances here because they're afraid stuff will be broken.
Not just broken, but they also want it to be approachable. Like it's very clear that Capcom's plans are SF5 wants to be they want it to be big, especially with Sony
Then what
backing.
was Street Fighter 4 though, man? Like Street Fighter 4, like it revived the fighting game scene and got so many people to this game. It's not like everyone had amnesia over 6 years.
Yeah, but it's the thing is they want SF5 to be an esport, like a big esport, and part of it is like they need players. They need more and more people to play the game.
Hmm.
And a lot of people, if they're just mashing on buttons, they don't know what they're doing. They're like, this game's too complicated. I don't want to play. It's too complicated.
But this shit pisses me off too because honestly, it doesn't matter how much you dumb down the game unless we're dumbing it down to single button presses
Hmm.
to the point that it's a fucking Shenmue cutscene. You're not gonna learn the game without putting work into it.
That's the thing. There's
Fucking way, man. Fighting games are way too complicated. No matter how much you dumb them down. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I also prefer having like a execution barrier, a certain level of execution barrier. You don't need to make it super tough, but you need to have an execution
Well, that guy
barrier.
on the Reddit forums who plays Ryu and Smash would
Oh
disagree.
God, let's not.
Sorry, I gotta bring that up every time. It's so golden, man. It still
But
makes
yeah,
me laugh to this day.
you need it just you have to put in the work. Like you can't get good at a game without putting in the work. Whether it's a MOBA, whether it's a fighting game, whether it's FP, you have to put in the work. And it's just there's too much instant gratification going on, and
Hmm.
like we're just bombarded with so much media, so much entertainment that it's like what's worth our time. And I don't think you can completely dumb down fighting games to overtake certain things that are widely popular nowadays that are just so simple, right? Like it is a niche, and you have to like understand that it's a niche, and there's a way to make it more globally appealing without sacrificing
It's almost
the
impossible
core.
to dumb it down without sacrificing some fun to it. Honestly, like,
Yeah,
it's just that's the way fighting games work, man. Most of the fun is because of the complicated shit. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, man. There's just like I'm not saying that Capcom should go all out like King of Fighters did and just make it the most complicated shit ever, right?
but also the most one of the funnest fighting games.
Yeah, if
But,
you have the time to take you to learn it, yes, for sure, I agree. But another thing too is like like I said, Capcom's put all this money and effort and development time into dumbing these games down rather than actually just teaching the fucking game. You know what I mean?
but
It, it
you teach the game, and it's just like not everyone grasps all the concepts right away. And then the other part is people think it's a chore when you have to sit down and teach them how to play the game. People
hmm
think now it's a chore. Now it's
hmm
like, oh, I gotta learn how to play. It's like it's just not intuitive, right? And then people get annoyed by that.
But I don't know, man, because we got
I,
games like League of Legends, and that game is not.
Everyone says League of Legends is apparently easy to play. You're when you told me to play League of Legends, you're like, it's easy to play, man. It's easy
It
to play.
well,
And
that's
then you
yeah, but
play it, and it's
it
like, no,
actually isn't,
it
especially when you
isn't.
go
It's
into the
very
game. It has like over
complicated.
60 champions or whatever, right? But the thing is that that is the most popular game right now.
Yeah.
So how is it possible this game that's that complicated is the number one game? How? You know the tutorial for League of Legends is shit. It's like the worst tutorial ever, dude. And when you go into that game, there is an entire meta that is not taught to you. Like if you go into a game, there's like who's gonna be ADC, who's gonna be mid. Imagine someone who's like, what the fuck does that even mean? I don't know. I'm just gonna pick the champion I like. And they're like, hey, you have to go top. Why do I have to go top? You know what I mean? And it's like there's this entire meta around the game that's not even taught, and it was just made by the community. And yet this game is thriving. It's the number one game. How is this fucking possible?
Because you can go online. Like the requirements to play League or any other MOBA is simple. Just have a PC. You don't even need to have like a top of the line PC.
Okay.
You can have like a potato for fuck's sakes, and you'll be able to play League.
Okay.
And then all you need after that is an internet connection,
Mhm.
and then you can just play online. That's it. And the latency with online matches isn't that bad. Like
Mhm.
you can play anyone around the world, and it doesn't lag too badly. Like
Mhm.
still do what you want to do.
Mhm.
Sure, there's some latency, but it's probably not as bad.
Mhm.
Fighting games. Look what we need to play a fighting game. Console, which is already pretty expensive with the new consoles. Joystick, that's already like another $200. So your console's probably like what, 400, 500, maybe
Sure.
more.
Sure.
And then you got to buy a joystick, so probably like 150 to 200, maybe more, depending on what you want to do
Mhm.
for a joystick. Then you need a copy of the game. So what, maybe $40 to $60 depending on the developer.
Okay.
Then there's post DLC content, all that stuff.
Mhm.
Then you need an internet connection as well. Well, most people are going to have an internet connection anyways for their PC, so that you could probably factor that out.
Yeah.
But the price of admission alone, you're already looking at like almost $1,000
Okay.
just to get it, just to play the game. But a PC, everyone's going to have a PC or a laptop or whatever
Mhm.
because you need it for your day-to-day life.
Mhm.
It's of no extra charge to you to get it for League, right? You're going to already have a PC anyways, and then download League, it's free, and it's also free, right? And then
Mhm.
you can just play. Like the price of admission for League is nothing in comparison to the price of admission for fighting games.
Mhm.
So that's why it's just super easy for people to just play a MOBA versus a fighting game.
Mhm.
And it's like it's not like yeah, it's complicated, but the controls are simple because it's
Hmm.
just what 4 or 5 buttons, whatever, and then mouse and then your mouse.
Yeah.
So and then it's like get into a fighting game. It's like oh, you gotta do this combination of motions and buttons and all this stuff, and and then right away people get lost,
Hmm.
right? Even if you simplified the motions and stuff like that, just the concepts of it
Hmm.
are still complicated for people. Now,
Hmm.
Rising Thunder got rid of the motions, and
Hmm.
like, yeah, new players appreciate that, and they're able to get into fighting games because that barrier of execution is gone. But but it also sacrificed some things. Like Rising Thunder had to make concessions and sacrifices to what is normal for fighting games. So it's like you can't please everyone. It's just really hard. Like MOBAs are gonna always do well because like barrier of entry and price of admission is a lot lower than a fighting game.
Okay.
There's just no way to like really address that issue of fighting games. It's a niche, and people have to understand that it is a niche, and you have to accept it for that. And if you're trying to achieve one thing with it, like esports level, there has to be concessions made on both sides.
Hmm. Um, like another thing about League of Legends is like huge like word of mouth. The company puts so much money into the esports scene and makes everyone very self aware of the community. There's a giant ass community. Not just playing
Sponsorships
the
are
game, just like
huge.
music, um, like crafting and all this shit, art, and it's such a massive community. But yeah, you're right. It's extremely accessible. So there's that, man. Um, I also understand that it's really hard for people to get into fighting games, no doubt. If there's someone out there that just hasn't touched a fighting game before and they really want to get into it, it is, even though all the information is there, it is not all in one spot, so to speak, right? You gotta really, really dig to find information. You're like a wizard in a castle in a library, man, just looking through tomes and tomes of information.
I'm
It's
sure the
tough.
same is with League too. Like I don't play League, and I'm sure if I tried to play League now, if I'm looking at the forum for League, and they're using all this terminology I don't understand,
Yeah.
and it's like I didn't know what ganking was until you guys told me what it was. But if there was no one to tell me, right? Like if I look at the board, I'd understand nothing. I don't understand the terminology they use and stuff like that.
Not to mention, I was trolling the fuck out of you too, man. When I
Yeah, you
got you to
did.
fight Baron at like level 3,
I had no idea.
you're like, what's which monster should I be attacking when you're jungling? I'm like, okay, attack this dude. I'm
I
like,
put my trust
he
in
gives you
you,
the
man.
most XP.
I put my trust in you. You betrayed that trust, and I'm just like, never again.
Fuck off. It was worth it, man. It was so funny watching you walk to that Baron pit. You're so low level. It was hilarious. And you fought on 1v1. It was a good fight. It was a good fight, Killer.
It was a good
You
fight.
fought well. And you died very
I
quick.
can't remember who I was using too.
I don't know. But I was like, when I saw you start walking towards it and you believe me, I was already laughing at that point. Like I couldn't hold it in. That was good. Yeah, League is fun, just not if you play with me, man. Because I rage so much. Oh my god, that game
You're
makes my blood
toxic, man. You're
oh, it
so
makes my blood
toxic.
boil so much, dude. But then again, like Hearthstone makes my blood boil too, man. I hate games when you don't have full control over things that happen. Like Hearthstone's got like
Oh,
so
too
much
much
RNG,
RNG, right? Yeah, yeah.
so much RNG. Just on the mulligan alone, I can tell you if I'm gonna lose the game. If I get a bad mulligan, I'm just like, fuck,
But
GG, we
that's like
lose.
Magic though. Magic the Gathering, you do a mulligan if you're
Yeah,
mana
MTG is
mana
card games in
flooded or mana
general.
screwed. You're like you can already tell you're like
I
oh I'm
fucking
fucked.
hate that, man. And then League is same thing too. Like I can tell you just from the draft if we're gonna lose. Just from the fucking draft, man, if we're gonna lose. And like when you play a fighting game, you feel like you're in full control over, sure you can get hit by a random DP or two and stuff like that, but that's part of like the mind game in that sense. Especially when you go through long sets with your opponent. That's what makes fighting games so fun. So you're in full control.
There's
Um,
no you're accountable for yourself, your own actions in a fighting game. And then when you lose, the only person that you can blame is yourself. Unlike MOBAs, when you lose, there's ways for making people scapegoats. Maybe it's still your fault, but
Scapegoat.
you can still. Everyone likes to point fingers and whatever. Nobody wants to take accountability for their
And
own.
that's why I fucking hate what's it called? Heroes of the Snooze, man. Heroes of the Snooze, dude. That pisses me off because there's no laning phase. I can't show them how fucking godlike I am. Destroy the guy 1v1 and then lose because of my team afterwards. Can't do that.
Which
You
is
know what I mean?
weird
That's the
because
one thing I like is a laning
you
phase.
play
Really show them how good you are
Counter-Strike.
before your team costs you the game. I hate that shit, man.
You played competitive Counter Strike, so you had a team based game and everything. So like,
Yeah. But in Counter
but you
Strike, dude,
love Counter Strike.
you can. Oh, don't even get me started. I love Counter Strike. But in Counter Strike, dude, like if everyone on your team is dead, you can clutch ace 5v1. You can do that in Counter Strike. League of Legends, you can't do that, man. You cannot do that. It's a game of numbers, man. Like if the other team is fed, you are fucked. There's nothing you can do. But in Counter Strike, it's an even playing field, man. You can outplay, and that's why I like Counter Strike so much, and as a team game. But yeah, with all this being said, like when Street Fighter V comes out, I'm gonna try really hard this time for the Street Fighter V tutorial to make sure everyone of all skill levels can learn something this time and actually how to play the game this time. I'm not just doing mechanic tutorial this time. I'm doing like an entire tutorial from beginner and veteran kind of thing. I definitely trying to make it so you only have to go to one place to find all the information you need kind of thing. To give you an idea how big of a tutorial I'm trying to do this, I'm already started working on it. So we're gonna see what happens, man. But hopefully Capcom helps out too by adding a tutorial in their game and getting people started. That's not just like a, do this, then do that, then do this, and then all of a sudden you've learned. You know what I mean? I really want something like where Guilty Gear had, where it gave you a scenario and you had to figure it out yourself, or it would give you the answer to get out of that scenario, that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
That Guilty Gear did it in a very smart way. They give you the mechanics breakdown, right, and then they teach you they make you practice the mechanics,
Mm-hmm.
and then they went one step further and they go, okay, let's look at matchups now.
Mm-hmm.
Here's some common scenarios you're going to see in this matchups. Think about a way to counter it, and they give you some tips afterwards. So maybe try this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was like I think it was like Giant Bomb or something. They always complained how like fighting games never taught you how to get around zoning or how to zone or whatever like that. And then when Guilty Gear actually showed you like, okay, here's zoning,
Mm-hmm.
find a way to get around it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, this is genius. This is what they wanted. And so yeah, you need something like that. But apparently Virtual Fighter, everyone keeps saying like Virtual Fighter had the best tutorial.
Did it?
I haven't seen it myself.
Really? I
I've
never
had
heard
people
that.
say Virtual Fighter 5 had the best tutorial of all time.
Really?
And so I don't know whether that's true or not. I've never seen it. I can't really comment or say, but this is what I've been told.
Okay.
Obviously, Skullgirls also had a really good tutorial mode because
I heard that for sure.
that was the intent that Mike said wanted. He wanted it to address all of those issues with fighting games in terms of like trying to learn a fighting game. So it's like, here's a high-low mix-up. Block the high-low mix-up now. And then it's like, here's how to form your own high-low mix-up. That kind of thing.
Yeah, that's really important, man. Very important to
Like
understand the process and the formula.
And to teach you the theory, right? So that you can come up with your own stuff later on.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Okay, so let's get back on topic here. We just
That was a long time.
we were talking about Zangief's V trigger, and then holy shit, yeah, then another podcast like intervened. Okay, let's get back to Zangief. So his V trigger, Capcom Unity says you either tap it, and then you tap it, and then Zangief spins for a little bit, pulls the opponent towards you, or you can choose to hold it down instead, and then do a multiple amount of hits with the Zangief spinning, and then it knocks him away. Well, this is how it really works. So you tap it. If you tap it, Zangief will spin like once. It'll pull the opponent towards you, and it will not hit them. So you can just pull the opponent towards you, and you can do a command grab, for example. If the opponent is in the air, it does not suck him towards you. If the opponent is falling from the air, while you're spinning, it still doesn't suck them towards you. You gotta hold it down longer. Like it has to be, you know what I mean? You can't just fall into the suction. So I really wonder like how like the hitbox design around that is. Like how does that even work? You know what I mean? Because it's a strange mechanic.
Maybe proximity?
Yeah, some type of proximity for sure. Anyways, when you tap it, it doesn't even really drain your bar, honestly. Like I seen the bar almost max, and then you get the drain bar. The timer appears, but the timer is like almost full when you just tap it once. If you hold it down just for a little bit, like I'd say almost 2 seconds, it'll do like 5 hits, the Zangief spin, and you'll lose about 10% of your bar, and you'll still have the rest of the timer. If you hold it down all the way, it'll drain your entire bar. It'll just go from full to 0, and it'll do like 9 hits, and it knocks them away. You can't follow up with it.
How's the damage on it?
It's not that good. Definitely less than a super. It's like getting hit by like a short combo if you hold it down all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's definitely not something to ignore. Like if you're gonna get a guaranteed hit, you might want to definitely use it as an option, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're still pretty close to the opponent even after you knock them away. But in the future, I definitely see Zangief players just tapping it, honestly, and use it to just get close. Because what happens is you can activate it later.
So you can tap it later on too?
You can tap it later on.
Mm.
And then it'll take a portion out. It looks like it takes like, if you use it post, like afterwards, it takes like 50% of your bar to activate it again.
Oh, wow.
It takes a lot. So, you can't just spam it every now and then. It's a very powerful V-trigger at that point,
Yeah, that's
right?
really good. Actually, that makes it way more interesting than what the trailer showed.
And what Capcom Unity posted.
Yeah. No, that's really cool, actually. That's really, really cool.
And then, like I said, during the timer, it might add some different things, but all we know is that it makes it so it's V-skill, when you hold it down, that you can absorb an infinite amount of hits. It also makes you completely invincible to fireballs when you're spinning. So after you activate it once, the fireball will just go right through you. So you don't have to worry about projectiles for sure. I've already seen footage of like a Zangief getting knocked down from Ryu, and Ryu will try to throw a meaty fireball when he's waking up, and then Zangief will literally like reversal V trigger, suck Ryu towards him, the fireball goes through Zangief, and then Zangief command grabs him. It's nuts. Did I say everything that we need to say? Yeah,
I think
that's
so,
pretty
yeah.
much it for his V trigger. So his V trigger is pretty wild. It looks silly, but and it's definitely not something I would have expected. I was expecting something like a Mecha Zangief with 4 bars of V gauge, but
I think that's what we
works.
said initially too. It kind of is though, because he with the V skill absorbing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, it's only Zangief only has 2 bars of V gauge. So for him to get an activation and a passive from this for only 2 bars is a steal.
It's really good.
It's a steal. That's great. That means, and I'm assuming he has just as much health as Birdie, so I can see him being able to do his V trigger twice in a round if he uses it properly. That's pretty nuts. But Zangief is pretty slow. I can't say that he's going to be a crazy character. He might have the same issues that he's always had with zoning. Even though he has ways around zoning, he's still a slow character nonetheless.
We also don't know how good his footsie tools are, and that's really important.
Yeah, like we haven't seen anyone crazy play him. I think Momochi's supposed to play him later tonight, right?
Something like that. They were saying they were going to demo him.
Yeah, I'll check out his stream later, so we can see some high end play. But overall, I'm pretty happy, man, with how they made Zangief in Street Fighter V. Overall.
Yeah, he's unique enough.
Yeah.
In comparison to his other versions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Pretty crazy. But like I said, with his V-trigger in the future, I could just see Zangief players just tapping it, going for a command grab or going for a pressure string into a setup, and then using it again later.
Or wait until because most people will want to backdash out of pressure, so wait until they backdash, V-trigger, suck them back in, and then go for the command grab then.
The thing is like, his V-trigger is not always going to be the best against certain characters that also want to be close. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So there's that too. So sometimes you might want to just use it
but
as a damage finisher. So
but against characters who want to be close,
don't
like
want to be close or want to be close.
that want to be close. Like who else besides another grappler that want to be close?
Well, I don't know. Like, would a pixie character want to be close? But like, if you have a character like Cammy, yeah, she's great up close because of her fast normals. But at the same time, Zangief, like,
He's got the armor, so it
he's
doesn't
got the
matter.
armor,
Yeah.
and he's gonna do so much damage to her if just one SPD. Cammy will most likely want to poke outside of Zangief's range with standing medium kick and stuff like that. Same with Chun-Li, right?
Mm.
It's tough to say it, right?
Yeah.
We got characters like Bison with like knee press pressure and shit like that. So
But hopefully with the armor, that kind of nullifies that.
mm-hmm.
Because he sucks him in, he's got the V skill, infinite armor, they start doing knee presses, boom, command grab.
Mm-hmm.
It's like...
Yeah, it'd definitely be interesting to see in the future how the meta plays out for Zangief.
Yeah, there's some potential there, we'll see. Usually, and also the meta is kind of weird. Like, usually within the game's initial lifespan,
Mm-hmm.
grapplers usually end up top tier because they're easy to figure out in terms of like the high damage output from a command grab. And then when people figure out their characters and they figure out their combos and they figure out how to optimize their play, grapplers start to go down in the tier listing.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I wonder if we'll see that with Geef, where he
Yeah.
ends up really strong initially, and then he kind of falls in place after.
For the players that enjoy grappling characters, I'm sure they're gonna have fun with this version of Zangief because there's more depth to him in this version, just with the tools that he has. So there'll be some really cool setups that people will figure out and stuff. So they got a lot to play with here.
I'm just glad he's less brain dead with like without Green Hand being like what it was in the first iteration of Ultra SF4. Like
Mhm.
Green Hand was out of control.
Yeah. So, yeah, Zangief, man. And like I said, don't forget, man, his command throws and all that are 360 motions, and his super is a 720. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
So that's it for Zangief, man. Now it's time to talk about Street Fighter V itself. With all these new builds, we're hearing all these rumors and people reporting in with information on all the changes and stuff.
But it's really tough with the information because there's people say one thing and then the other person deconfirms it after.
It's ridiculous, man. Like, we hear someone say, they removed this, and then like a couple pages later they'll be like, no, they didn't remove that, and then someone like, yeah, they did. It's like you can't tell what's true, man. So all this information I'm gonna tell you guys, take it with a grain of salt, please. I haven't been able to play a newer build of the game since the beta, so I can't test it out myself. This is just from tweets, forum posts. A lot of the stuff is from Maximilian's tweets. So thanks to him to giving out this information during TwitchCon. But like I said, it doesn't matter who's posting what, how credible the name is. A lot of the stuff can be deconfirmed or changed in even newer builds. So just keep that in mind when I'm telling you guys this. And I'm not telling you every single little thing, but I'm telling you some of the more important things, kind of stuff. So you ready for this, Killy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Big disclaimer though, like you said, take it with a grain of salt. Things could change. Maybe things are not correct. We're not sure yet.
The point of this is to give you guys an idea of how the game is shaping, how Capcom's direction is with the game, what they want out of it. So anyways, how we start? Okay, let's start.
Start with the engine.
Yeah, we'll start with just the engine of the game. So V reversal takes a chunk away from your stun bar. We knew about this a long time ago. I said, Killy, that it was from the beta version, like the E3 version.
Yeah.
It turns out it wasn't. I was wrong. So even you can't even believe me, man. I went back onto the really old footage that we took with the camcorder, and I saw it doesn't take away the stun bar at all. So this is good. This means that Capcom is trying to make V reversals better. And like I said, I don't want it to do more damage or anything like that. And I think having a way to get rid of it takes a chunk away your stun bar, like half of it, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So having an option to quickly get out of a stun situation is great, and it's still baitable because of that. I like that.
Yeah, at least if it's baitable, whether intentionally or unintentionally.
Yeah.
At least you're getting rid of your stun.
Yeah, that's good. At least they're finding more ways, and like I said, that's a very creative way of making it better, and that's what
Yeah.
I want. So, and like I said, this first became available in the Ken build, so the version right after the E3
E3.
build. That's when they introduced this, because that's the earliest footage that I can find with it still in there. Okay, crush counter on most invincible reversal attacks recovery. We knew about this before too. I'm not sure what build they introduced this in.
Well,
I think
not
it was the
not crush
Necalli build.
counter, the counter hit state though. They're
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I worded that wrong. So when you do invincible reversal, most invincible reversals, we don't know exactly which ones, but reuse Dragon Punch, for example. During the recovery, if the opponent hits you, it will be a guaranteed counter hit. In other words, you can get it crush countered, which is a devastating punish for a Dragon Punch. Devastating.
that's like 50% of your life
50% of
gone
your health for sure, for
easily.
most
Well,
characters.
it depends because they did tone down damage and all that stuff. But you're looking at maybe 50%. It's pretty severe punish.
Yeah,
So now the question is the risk reward worth it now?
it's not. But it doesn't mean that you won't see it in high-end play.
Yeah,
Because the psychology, like, you know what I mean, it does. When you're playing a fighting game, it's not, you can go by odds, you can treat it like poker, but when there's something with low odds, it just tells the other player that there's a very low chance it's going to happen, which means it's way more unpredictable.
hmm
You know what I mean? Like, this is going back to like Punko mashing DP with Seth. You know what I mean?
hmm
If the opponent says in his head, this is way too risky, he's never going to DP me during this string, he just might take that risk. But if you bait it, the round is almost over. There's just so much damage. We know for sure it's a counter hit on the recovery of Ryu's Dragon Punch, Ken's Dragon Punch, Necalli's reversal, we'll just call it Dragon Punch, where he flies up in the air. I don't know who else. But they seem to be aiming towards the invincible ones, the ones that your opponent can mash when you're doing blocks.
just the regular ones, right? Like the EX ones, it doesn't cause that state, right?
At first, I was kind of like, man, this is kind of a little too much of a punish. But I like this because, like I said, I like adding more counter hits to the game to give crush counters, make them more prevalent, make them more in there to use. Because there's problems like, for example, Ryu standing hard kick as a crush counter, I don't really like because the opponent can crouch it. So it's really, really hard to set that damn thing up because you can try to frame trap them, but the opponent naturally crouches when he blocks. You know what I mean, from strings. And it's not like the throw whiff is not a counter hit, right? So to actually land this thing like in a practical match is tough. But when the opponent is recovering from a parry or recovering from a Dragon Punch, and then you're like, okay, standing hard kick. You know what I mean? It gives it more of a use because Ryu's hard punch crush counter knocks the opponent up, right? It doesn't keep him grounded. So there's that. So like I said, I like this change. It's just it's just kind of crazy. You know what I mean? Like for new players are gonna really struggle. It just adds more ammunition for good players to absolutely destroy new players. Like absolutely destroy.
Frauds getting exposed.
It's oh my god, dude! It just whiffing a DP is just so devastating.
Now I've also read that crush counters give a lot of V gauge.
Oh, I forgot to write that down. Yeah, that wasn't in the most recent version. They added that a while ago too. But yeah, crush counters grant V gauge. So now we have another way of gaining V gauge. So damaging attacks.
It's like significant too, like half a bar or something like that.
This is great because, like I said, I like them adding more ways in the game that just if you're losing doesn't necessarily mean that you're the first to activate V trigger. So if you're winning, you can still activate, kind of thing.
Yeah, and did they nerf V gauge gain off of V skills? Was that universal?
Universal, yes.
Okay.
The gain from it, like in the beta / E3 build, was kind of like it was generally like a third of one V gauge per V skill. Generally, right?
Yeah, about like 1/3, 1/4.
Now it's like 1/7, 1/8.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very small amount. I don't really like that though. Like, I think if Ryu parries 3 times in a row, he should get a damn meter for that. You know what I mean?
Man.
Like, why not, right? He parried it 3 times in a row. Who cares? It's not like he's gonna activate for free, and it's not like he's gonna activate and make this, have a crazy advantage. You earned that shit. So I kind of don't like that. Even Birdie, when he eats his donuts, he gains a lot less V gauge.
He gained oh no, he
He gained
the
one
E3
third,
build it
man.
was like 1/3 or 4th.
Still gonna use it 9 times, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're eating 9 donuts and the opponent is just standing there, then hell yeah, you get to act. You should be able to activate. You know what I mean? So I don't agree with that part. I want to see as many activations around as possible. I like that. It changes the flow of the match. It's fine. So maybe Capcom should look at that.
Or at least start lowering some of the V gauge bars for some of the characters.
And then you said the damage across the board has been lowered a little bit, right?
I think they did some damage tweaking overall.
I've seen a few people talk about that. It's not like super low, but it's still like
damage is still high in the game in comparison to other Street Fighters, but it's not as high as it was in the E3 build.
Yeah. So yeah. Thanks for letting me know. I forgot to write that down in the notes. And then some stupid stuff. I don't know if you've seen this, but there's some footage of Nikali. You know how he has his end wind pulls where he grabs you up?
Yeah.
Lifts you up? There's actually like a match where Nikali knocks Ryu into a bus, and the bus drives him away, and then he grabs him after from the ground and lifts him up. I don't know. I guess that fighting games work that way, right? So it's kind of funny. It's like he knocks your ass on the bus, and then he lifts you up out of nowhere. It's like choose your own adventure, you know what I mean?
Or the noodle win quote.
Yeah. So yeah, the game also has character-specific win quotes depending on the stage ending. So if you knock them into the noodles, for example, you'll get different quotes from your characters. So that's kind of cool. Cool little Easter egg, right?
Yeah.
And then in general, lights to medium links, for the most part, are gone from the game. But there's still characters that have them. Like Vega definitely has it. Crouching light punch and the crouching medium punch. And then Birdie apparently can still do standing light kick into crouching medium punch. So they're still there. But a lot of them are taken away, which we're going to go over soon for some characters. But what game would you compare that to where it's more about light chains into specials?
CVS2. Well, right? CVS2 had links too, and a lot of the advanced combos required links too. So
why do you think they're doing this though? They're dumbing down the combo structure. Is it
I
because
think they wanted
the links
less
are so easy to do now?
I think they just wanted less fishing from lights into stronger normals for bigger damage, but you're still gonna have fishing because you're gonna have fishing with lights into specials now.
Like Ryu's bread and butter is probably gonna be crouching light kick, crouching light punch, dragon punch.
Yeah, something like that. And it's just like I don't feel it changes.
It's the same thing. It's still gonna be a hit confirm. It's still gonna be fishing. So
yeah,
it could be a damage thing. I'm not sure. It definitely makes the game feel less Street Fighter 4-ish in that sense.
Yeah.
Where it's like, that structure of lights into mediums, but I don't know. I like that structure. It was fine with me. But anyways, mediums as a Punisher and as pokes are very important now because that's how you get your most damaging combos now. Just straight from mediums for most of the characters. So there's that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah. I guess it makes the game more poking orientated, I guess.
Has some like Third Strike didn't let you do links into mediums for the most part.
Okay.
Maybe there's a character that I can't remember off the top of my head. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean there's some comparisons with that.
Once again, this kind of hurts the variety of the game, the combo variety.
A little bit. It kind of the combos are a little bit stale. Like they are simplifying it in general. So
yeah,
it depends.
That's the only thing I don't like. But
it's like it's early to say. Maybe there's some more combo potential later on. Mm-hmm. Not sure. But again, the game shouldn't be dominated by combos in itself. So
yeah, that's understandable. That's it for engine, right?
Yeah, I think also part of it for the whole combo thing is like they don't want combos to be too long. So it's like a new player gets in, they look at combos, and the combos are too long. They're like, "Holy crap, this combo takes forever."
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man,
Wait
what
until
are
they play Bison, dude. I'll show you.
oh jeez. It's like,
We'll
oh
get to
man, I
that in a
gotta
bit,
learn
though.
like a million button presses, a million combinations to do this one combo, and that
Yeah.
kind of thing. That turns off some players.
Okay. It's understandable. All right, so it's just kind of strange, you know what I mean? Because like, if you look at what the community is saying as a whole, everyone's saying buff movement speed, you know, change this, change that, and like no one's talking about the combo system. And then they're changing it, they're dumbing it down more. It's just it really shows that Capcom's like really having they're walking their own path, their own philosophy with this thing.
Yeah, but overall, I think the community was generally received that as positive. Like
Okay.
they don't mind. They actually like the fact that you can't go lights into mediums.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of people had issues with that in SF4, where it's like where you're fishing lights into mediums, so it felt like you're just fishing with lights all day.
Okay. All right, so we're just gonna run down the cast now. I'm just gonna give you quick like cliff notes of like changes. So let's start with who do I got there? Nakali. We're
Nikali.
not
I
even going in alphabetical order.
think we mentioned this last time, but I'm not
Yeah,
100% sure.
about his charge moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think before we said Nakali is a charge character. I don't remember, but it's just that they changed two of his special attacks into charge moves, and that's his Berserker Slash where he goes horizontal, and then his anti-air where he goes straight up. It's a charge down, then up punch, and then his Berserker Slash is like charge back, press forward punch. Doesn't this really hurts the character, doesn't it? Like,
Kind of an indirect nerf, yeah.
yeah, it's an indirect nerf kind of thing. His
Um,
Berserker Slash, like, it neutralizes fireballs. I can totally see that being a charge move now.
yeah.
Like, that makes sense, right? Like, having a command and then willingly being able to go through fireballs is pretty nuts. You know what I mean? And I hear people say that Nikali's still a good character, so.
And you still got people call him terrible afterwards. I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, without us actually playing it ourselves.
Yeah. There's some experimentation that needs to be done.
And
I
then
kind of
anti-air, hopefully it's really fast if they're making it a charge move, right?
yeah.
Yeah, and then just in general is like his V trigger. In case you guys didn't know, like it changes more than just like the frame advantage of his moves. Like it actually changes like his movement speed. Like he kind of walks really low profile and it's really fast, and it makes his dash faster too, and his V skill faster, apparently.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't really augment his super that much. I mean, it does more damage, but it wasn't like the
but
instant
Nikali
kill.
still has like a very unique V trigger in the sense that it doesn't
Oh,
drain
it
a
lasted.
timer. It's
Yeah.
got an infinite timer. You know what I mean? It's pretty crazy. But
I
nothing
think
really nuts on Nikali lately.
I think they might have did the charge move changes to kind of maybe, I don't know, balance him out with his V trigger as well. More emphasis on using the V trigger. Like we saw footage of known players use Nikali, and they like never busted out his V trigger right away. And it's like you think as soon as you have V trigger, you're busting that out.
Yeah,
Right
I don't know.
away.
I think it's just new players, man. Because like I notice that a lot. When you ever see someone new to Street Fighter V, they'll never activate right away, right? They'll always conserve it. Like Nikali, especially, you want to activate this thing ASAP. You know what I mean? Get the most value out of it. But yeah, moving on to Vega. Vega is still a command character. He's not a charge character yet.
That's interesting, though.
That is
I'm surprised that I'm sure they might mess around with Vega later on, but yeah, like the fact that Nikali's changed.
I think at one point in one build they're gonna test it.
They probably will. They probably will.
At one point they're gonna test Vega being a charge character. So
But
there's that.
the thing with Vega is like there's barely any information on Vega. Like it's like nobody's
He's not that
using the
popular,
character.
man. Yeah, there was some good combo fiend footage with him, but yeah, there hasn't been really much on Vega. Honestly.
Yeah, it's really tough to like really see Vega's development through the different builds because like barely anybody uses him, and they're rarely getting any information on him. To be more specific.
Okay, Ken stuff. Quite a bit of Ken stuff. His target combo. This was changed before in a couple builds back, but Ken's target combo now, his back medium punch into hard punch. It launches the opponent now. So you can still do your follow-ups like before. You can still go right into Dragon Punch and all that stuff. But the main reason they changed this is so he can't do his V trigger and do like a semi-infinite into another, target combo kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can go back medium punch, hard punch into fireball, V trigger into back medium punch to hard punch to fireball, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why they changed that. Ken's light punch apparently has a really good frame advantage on block. Like it's relatively safe. It's kind of like ST-ish.
So we're gonna get light DP, and still get hit 20 years later by the same thing.
Yeah, something like that. And I like when I read this, like the first thing I think of is like the crazy rollback of a Ken doing a light DP, and then the next frame is the second light DP when you try to punish him. I could totally see that. It'd be super fucking annoying, man. And then Ken can cross up with his Tatsu, but Ryu can't. I don't
Regular
understand
Tatsu or EX Tatsu?
normal Tatsu
Without V trigger?
without V trigger.
Oh wow.
It can cross up. It's just a normal Tatsu. It can cross up. Doesn't knock the opponent down like Ryu. So I guess that's the only difference I can think of. But give Ryu his cross up Tatsu, man. It's not that crazy. You know what I mean? Give him another option to combo into super. Just stuff to talk about Ken's V skill. Is not really like an update. It's more of just like information. But when you tap Ken's V skill when he runs towards you, it's a set amount of distance, and you can't cancel that distance. So he has to commit, and then you can whatever command you input, like throw or whatever, it'll come right after the recovery, but it's stored, sort of thing. But because it's a fixed amount of duration, people find it pretty weak. Because we saw with like Combo Fiend, he did a lot of gimmicks where he like cancel a button into Ken's V skill where he run towards you, and he'll constantly grab you, but at any point the opponent can mash out of it because he's stuck running. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not as crazy as people thought it would be. And then the second part to this is that when you get hit during the recovery, Ken gets counter hit. So that's scary.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
It's not something you like in high end play. It's not something you're gonna want to spam. It's gonna work on new players, but in the future, it's going to be very dangerous to spam. And obviously, if you hold down Ken's V skill, he'll do his step kick, but it's at the recovery of the run. And then that's what grants him V gauge in the first place. So just something to keep in mind when the next Phase 2 beta comes out, and I'm assuming we get to play Ken. Ken would be like almost a guarantee at this point, because he's like one of the first new characters after the E3 build. Your boy Nash.
Oh, jeez.
Do you want to read these notes and talk about it?
Sure, why not?
I'll let you talk.
I think it was it the Twitch? No, it was the TGS build. Zen made some tweets that Nash can no longer do his 2 target combo links. So I think he meant stand short, medium kick, or stand short forward, target combo, and then you link into his stand jab, stand strong target combo. So he said that wasn't possible in the TGS build. But then someone said that they've seen it used several times in the same build, I believe. So that's false.
So what's going on here? Is it true or is it false?
I believe it's false.
Okay.
Well, based on other people's first-hand accounts of the
TwitchCon build, yeah.
Yeah. Most of Nash combos are the same in the beta. From the beta. I don't know what the full extent of that is. Like, I don't know. I'm assuming he still has like crouch fierce, back medium kick, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully the V trigger combos stay intact, but I don't know if anyone's tested that. His V trigger has changed inputs, and we mentioned this a long time ago, but down V trigger in the E3 build would teleport Nash behind and above the opponent. That now teleports him on the ground behind the opponent. Neutral V trigger, which used to teleport Nash behind the opponent on the ground, is now what the down V trigger used to do. So neutral V trigger now will teleport Nash above and behind the opponent. So they basically just swap neutral and down V trigger from the E3 build.
I guess because people will most likely want to be above and behind them. Is that
why? Yeah, I think so. It'll be kind of annoying to get rid of that muscle memory now.
Yeah, for sure, especially for you, right?
Yeah.
Maybe like Combo Fiend kept on doing it by accident, and he's just like, man, we should just switch this, something like that. It's just a weird, it's not like a nerf; it's just a change.
Yeah. What is a nerf though is the V trigger startup is slower.
Is this indirect nerf because of the new V trigger animation that was put into the game?
I don't know. I don't know if they just purposely made it slower just because some people couldn't react to it. I think it was very reactable. Uh,
Yeah, it was. It definitely was. Especially if Nash is like full screen away,
and he throws that sonic
and
boom.
he
You're
throws
like,
that
I
slow
wonder what
sonic
he's
boom
gonna
towards you. You're like, I
do.
wonder what's gonna happen next. You know what I mean? Like, there's some huge tells, and like, come on, man. Like, Nash's V trigger is a one-time activation teleport, dude. Like, give me a break. Like, give me a break, dude. You're not gonna instantly die from this thing, you know?
Yeah, that one's a little bit questionable.
For how low Nash's health is, man. Like, come on, man. Give this guy a break.
Is let's see, stand short has been nerfed apparently. Can't really use it to hit confirm anymore. So he had various links off of stand
Oh
short.
yeah, crouching medium punch afterwards and shit like that.
Yeah, stand short could go into his target combos. Like you could actually link into his target combos from stand short. You could
Okay.
actually link into crouch medium punch or crouch strong afterwards. So yeah, lots of ways to like hit confirm off of stand short.
Mm-hmm.
Can't really do that anymore apparently.
Okay.
Um, let's see. Oh yeah, this is pretty severe. Nash's fierce tragedy assault. And tragedy assault is the one where Nash kind of like hops or leaps towards the opponent, and then grabs him by the face and then slams him into the ground. Does that charged energy and then he tosses him away.
Mm-hmm.
The fierce version used to be an overhead, so now it's not. So yeah, it's really slow. It's really telegraphed. And it's not an overhead anymore. The move's kind of useless now.
It
Like
already was fucking useless though.
like the whole intent
The
with the
move
move
was
was to
useless to begin with.
like the move was supposed to be used to go over projectiles or maybe catch him in an air-to-air situation, sort of. The Fierce just gave him a little additional mix-up property. It was super slow, but it was like an
Mm-hmm.
additional mix-up because it's an overhead.
Mm-hmm.
But they were all really unsafe on block. So by removing the overhead property on the Fierce version, it's like, well, like, why do I want to use this move now? Like, what good is
Why
it?
was it in the game in the first place? What the hell is it like? What is it for?
Like maybe I don't know if they buffed the startup. Like if they made it faster or something like that, fine. I can understand why they would do something like that. I don't know if they buffed the startup. Maybe they did. Maybe that was something that's not listed here, or maybe like nobody noticed. I don't know. But if it's the current speed, like the same speed as it was in the E3 build, and it doesn't have um the overhead property, like it's kind of bad. Like the only way you can really use it now is to like hard read a projectile or you use it in an air-to-air situation. Like if you throw a sonic boom that happened to land into the sonic boom in the air, you can combo tragedy assault. Or like you're using it as a sonic boom as a zoning tool.
Mm-hmm.
They happen to jump, you can use tragedy assault to sometimes catch them out of the air.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit risky because you can get hit out of it. So like the overhead property, like getting rid of the overhead property seems a little bit unnecessary. I don't know why they
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of maybe testing with something. I don't know. It wasn't overpowered in to begin with, so like I don't know why get rid of it.
Hmm.
Seems a little excessive. Does it affect Nash? Not really. Like
No.
the move is garbage anyways.
Yeah.
Just another reason not to use it, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's see. Nash can still juggle after V trigger. So,
Oh my god!
this is
How
a
many times do you have to hear this thing not juggle, and now it does juggle? It's like,
so
holy
this is
shit!
this is a conflicting report because
Yes.
basically from I think past the evil build, yeah, past the evil build till the TGS build, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They did remove the juggle property. So after V trigger, like if you say you combo Roundhouse Sonic Scythe, you did V trigger, you could combo move to jump Roundhouse afterwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
But after the evil build, they took that out. You couldn't juggle afterwards. And this was confirmed by multiple people. Like this was definitely removed, but then in the TwitchCon build, there was reports saying that he can do this again. So
Oh god.
it definitely shows that Capcom, yes, they're tweaking Nash quite a bit. Like
Yeah.
they tested getting rid of the juggle property. Maybe they thought, nah, that's too excessive, or
No way, man. No fucking
like
way.
too excessive for getting rid of it. Or it's like, oh, now it's just boring or whatever, and then they added it back in.
Oh, dude, it'd be hella boring if he couldn't.
Yeah,
It'd be so boring.
so yeah, I'm glad it's back. It was definitely a necessary tool. So good. At least it shows like Capcom is willing to revert changes they've done before.
Yes, that's a sigh of relief.
Yeah. Let's see. And the last one is his crush counter, his spinning back fist, which is forward fierce, which is his crush counter. Um, it's changed. It has faster recovery now, and
Okay, that's
and
good.
on crush counter it crumples. And I think I definitely mentioned this before, but yeah, it crumples now instead of the extended hit stun.
That's good.
So, but people are saying like, because before off of crush counter, Nash could go forward light kick, whatever, or dash into crouch fierce back medium kick, whatever. They said there's not enough time to actually do a forward dash into the crouch fierce anymore. And I'm guessing since it causes a crumple, if you did forward light kick, would probably knock him down. I don't know if
Oh, I see what you're saying.
if the
Okay.
max damage crush counter that was discovered during the beta is still feasible. So I don't know what the combo potential is, but definitely like being able to use it now because it was really unsafe, like super unsafe. If an opponent blocked it and they had super, Nash could get super punished, even at max range. You could get super punished by some characters. So it's like really bad normal. But making it have faster recovery means it's less negative on block, which means you can actually use this as a poke now. And I think that's a good trade-off for the crush counter not being as good. Plus, with crush counter giving you half V gauge or whatever, like if the crush counter normal is actually usable, that in itself is good enough, I think.
I feel like we really gotta play Nash for ourselves in the next phase and really like confirm and deconfirm these changes.
Yeah, because
Because
Nash
Nash has
is
been
the
a gong show.
That's just the one that gets the most reports of nerfs happening to him. And now, like, a lot of these things seem to be false, or maybe Capcom just reverted it since those builds. But, like, Nash has been going through this roller coaster ride of buffs and nerfs. Mostly
A
nerfs.
huge roller coaster ride.
It's just like...
A roller coaster going backwards.
So it's just like, just need to confirm how much of this is true. And what else has changed with the character.
Seriously, it's a lot easier for people to see things they've taken away change-wise rather than things they've given him.
Yeah, because everyone was like, okay, this is how I played Nash in the beta, and then
Yeah.
you go play it, and it's like, oh, he can't do these anymore. This character
Yeah.
is garbage. But I don't know if there was enough experimentation with some of his other tools to see, like, did they buff him? So
Yeah, exactly.
not sure yet.
Poor Nash. Poor Nash.
Should have stayed in the grave. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens to him in the final build.
Okay, moving on to Ryu. Ryu can pretty much V-trigger cancel all of his normals now. Like Ken styles, basically. He can V-trigger cancel all of his crouching hard kick, crouching medium kick. Wait, he can always V-trigger out of his crouching medium. No, standing medium kick. Sorry.
Yeah, remember it was off of his special cancelable normals. He could always V-trigger. So now
That was pretty much the rule for all the casts. But now there's some characters that are breaking that rule, especially Ken and Ryu.
yeah.
And his standing hard punch, he can V-trigger cancel out of. This is a welcome change. This is great. I really like the idea that they're adding more ways to combo into V-trigger, because I feel like they were being a little too careful to not have that risk-reward, FADC uppercut kind of thing. But they should definitely bring them in for normals, just so the combo system is not as stale and we have more ways to activate kind of thing.
Yeah.
So this is a welcome change, man. Especially that crouching hard kick with Ryu into V-trigger. That's nice. If you get a crush counter with Ryu standing hard punch and knocks him away, you can actually link into V-trigger into his uppercut, which is pretty sweet. I don't know if you can go super or anything like that, but that'd be awesome if you can.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ryu's standing medium punch is apparently nerfed. I don't know if it's like the hit stun or the recovery, but you can't link a crouching hard kick after it anymore. So you can't go like standing medium punch, crouching hard kick with Ryu anymore. Honestly, I don't know why they would do this, because like if you're landing a medium attack with Ryu, then you should deserve to be able to link into a hard attack, right? So I don't know. Seems kind of strange they would do this. Maybe they made it so you can't combo into sweep, so you can't do something with V trigger, like standing medium punch, crouching hard kick, V trigger, and there's some kind of combo we don't know about. That's possible.
Possibly.
Yeah. Ryu can't combo a standing light punch and the standing medium punch anymore. This is just back to the universal system with mediums having more troubles to combo into lights. So this is like whatever. And apparently, but I don't know if I really believe this, Ryu's Denshin Fireball, so when Ryu activates V-Trigger, his fireballs are a little bit slower. They're not as crazy fast as they were before. Even the charged version. I don't know for sure, man, because I'm looking at the latest footage and it looks the same to me.
Yeah.
So that's something I have to test out. I don't know, man. When I hear like people report things like this, I'm kind of like...
skeptical.
Like, how would you like really know?
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
I mean? How would you really know? So, I don't know. They should have just asked like a Capcom rep or something to confirm. But Ryu's fireball speed is really nutty fast, but I think it's fair because if Ryu decides to charge it, he can't cancel out of it. He can't move.
He's committed.
He has to commit, so, that's fine to me. Right?
Yeah. You don't want to, like...
Fuck, that thing's fast online, though, man. It's so hard to jump on those fireballs. It's crazy.
You shouldn't kill the fireball game altogether, man.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Like, the fireball game kind of seems weaker at certain ranges. So having amplified zoning game would have been nice for Ryu.
Yeah, for sure. So
I don't feel it's necessary to nerf it in any way. But again, like, I'm skeptical that whether this is true or not.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to Cammy. Her back hard punch has been changed to back medium punch. And apparently it's like not... She loses like some combos into it because of this, but I don't know. I haven't got like concrete information. So it seems to be mostly used as an anti-air, and this is obviously a damage nerf too, because it's a medium punch now.
Yeah.
Back medium punch. This is like, whatever, right? Like, she still has her standing hard kick anti-air. She still has, cannon spike anti-air, so it's like, not a big deal, right?
Well, it's great. The back heavy was good for cross-ups, like beating out cross-ups. Mm-hmm. Also, like, the combo ability, like going forward roundhouse into back heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, that did a lot of damage.
Yeah.
I don't know. Remember when I first did, you're like, what? That works? Like, that's a lot of damage, right?
Yeah.
She in the beta build, she can go crouching light punch into back hard punch into V trigger, so that might be changed now too. It's a very good way to confirm into V trigger off a light.
Yeah.
So that's probably changed, but yeah, man. And also her bread and butter is gone. Her crouching light punch into crouching medium punch is gone. She can't go lights to medium, apparently, anymore. I don't think this really affects her at all. A lot of people are making a big deal of this, but I don't think this affects her at all because she can just go light into cannon drill or spiral anyways, right?
Yeah.
So she's still like gonna be played at that sweep kind of range anyways. Mm-hmm. So honestly, it's not that big deal. She just loses some damage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then honestly, like, you're gonna be getting counter hits with her crushing light punch a lot anyways. Like if you do what's it called when she goes down, Canna Sprite. She does like Canna Sprite, right? And then the opponent like blocks it, and then you're at frame advantage if you distance it right and you do a crushing light punch. You're most likely gonna get a counter hit, and then you can confirm into a crouching medium punch anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Did you call it Cannon Sprite?
No, man, I said Cannon Spike.
I thought I heard you say Sprite.
No,
okay.
man, if you rewind the footage, I said Cannon Spike.
Okay.
You're just hearing things.
I am hearing things.
But yeah, that's it with Cammy. Okay, so Birdie, he's actually got a lot of different changes.
He's got some interesting changes. Definitely seems like he got better for the most part.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I already thought Birdie's a strong character.
Yeah.
So Birdie's V trigger, we already said we said this before in the past podcast, but his V trigger is now it has its own hitbox, where he blows the flames out from eating the pepper. It's an actual hitbox.
And it should have been in the first place.
It should have been the first, because that's one of the first things we tested when we saw it. I'm like, is that a hitbox? And then we tested that. That was fun. But because of this, I recently made a combo tutorial for Birdie, and I couldn't find a way to combo in after his V trigger. So combo into his V trigger and then afterwards. So I didn't have any info on that. But then two people actually gave me a link that he can, and I didn't know that. That's crazy. So Birdie can go anything into his EX headbutt, V trigger the first hit, and then you could link a standing medium punch, or you can go raw into another EX headbutt, for example. And that's a very, very powerful combo. I didn't know he could do that. But with that being said, you might not be able to do that anymore in the newest build, because since his V trigger has its own hitbox, when you combo EX headbutt into it, it actually knocks the opponent away when he gets hit by the flame. So it's like we get something really cool, and then it like takes away something really cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know for sure. I have to test it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But potentially it could have got rid of that combo, which would kind of suck, because that was awesome when I found that out.
Yeah.
So thanks to those guys for letting me know. Sorry, I don't remember your names. Yeah, Birdie's V trigger, when you activate it, it now like it also gives him crazy damage on all his attacks and augments some of his special moves. But now it gives him movement speed now too, and it's pretty much close to reused movement speed when I'm looking at the footage.
It's kind of crazy though, because considering his normals, like, oh
Like
man,
walk back and forward is increased. It's crazy. So Birdie's like fast, not his jump though.
yeah,
That'd be too nuts. Like that'd be like we're getting like X Factor level shit going on. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But yeah, that's really cool, man. Like Birdie gets increased movement speed. Like I said, it's like almost like reuse speed. It's really fast. It looks weird too with the animations.
mm-hmm.
Bullhorn, that's like the turn punch, where you hold down a punch button and then he goes up. You can also hold a kick button now, so you can use punch or kick. Just adds more variety to it. Should be the same with any strength. Apparently, you can also, if you hold down a punch and a kick of the same strength, it'll do the EX version. But I don't know, that doesn't really make sense to me, because you whiff a throw, or you do a V skill by accident, or you do a V
Or
trigger
V
by
trigger,
accident.
yeah.
So it's like, whatever. But having that extra option is nice, because like, you know, if you hold down light punch, it's like you're losing like your bread and butter combo starter. If you hold down medium punch, you can't anti-air. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And if you hold down hard punch, you can't poke. So it's like you're gonna want all these punches like accessible, right? So maybe getting rid of one of the kicks is a better idea. So it's just more option, right?
Yeah.
Birdie can now cancel his normal attacks into V skill that are special move cancelable. So
That's kind of
Birdie
crazy.
standing medium punch, crouching medium punch, you can cancel the V skill right into the banana or the energy drink or the donut. That's awesome. It's not like crazy, but it just, I haven't really seen a V skill besides Ken where you can cancel into it kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice that they did this, and it's nice that they're showing, you know, more changes to these V skills for the older characters. Oh yeah, I've seen footage of this. Is Birdie, after he activates his V trigger, if he uses his V skill, he can gain V gauge on the timer. This sounds like glitchy to me. I don't understand why would they do this. That's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, because now he can prolong his V trigger.
Yeah, no other character can do this. So I find this really weird. It just sounds like a glitch to me. I don't think they'll keep it in the game. And I don't like the idea of, you know, once you activate and then you can keep your bar up kind of thing. I don't really like that, honestly.
Yeah.
I'd rather just have a set timer and you're going to have to deal with it kind of thing. Like I said before, like you can't even use V reversals when your V trigger is activated. So, because how could you, right? Because, you know, it takes one bar and you have a timer. So yeah, apparently his crouching light punch and standing light punch don't link into each other anymore. But honestly, I'll see when I believe it. Because when I was reading the forums on this, I'm seeing people say it doesn't work, and then I'm seeing people say it does work, back and forth, and it's like, holy shit, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So, well, whatever. We'll just see when it happens. Like, I don't understand why they would get rid of it, because like Birdie's not a combo character anyways, and like the damage you get is just like 190 or something,
Yeah.
and it's like I don't know, just doesn't make sense to me.
I think some people got annoyed with it at E3 when they were watching like moment. Who is it? Not Zen. Fudo, Tokido, RB, where they were just like fishing with the crouch jab into stand jabs into the head rush.
Okay.
So maybe they didn't want that. 'Cause it was fishing essentially. It was just they were fishing for it. So
Yeah. Even if they do change this, like I'm wondering because he can still do crouching leg kick into standing leg kick, in the standing leg punch. So they change that too. But like honestly, from like most of what I'm reading for Birdie, it's just buffs. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
if you're a Birdie user, there's nothing really much to worry about. Honestly, they're just making the character better.
Hmm.
All right, it's time for the final character.
Oh god.
Lord Bison. Lord Bison. Bison.
Bipson.
I can't wait until the game comes out and people are already starting to change the title of the game to like Bison Fighter 5. I can't wait. I love the cross Tekken names. They're so good. It was like Rolento Cross Timeout X and all this hilarious title changing. I can't wait for the memes, the Bison memes.
Jab cross timeout or something like that.
Yeah, jab cross timeout. Oh man, yeah, Rolento cross timeout. So good. Anyways, Lord Bison. Character that we've heard about quite a lot. Who many feel that he is the strongest character in the game. Okay. So anyways, let's just talk about the recent footage that everyone has seen. Bison's dash now apparently is his teleport dash even without V-trigger. So no matter what, it's a teleport dash. I think this is a glitch. What do you think?
Could be. I don't know if it's a cosmetic change because it looked
Oh.
like he couldn't teleport through the opponent,
Okay. Okay.
but I'm not sure.
But would
I
it
don't
still go
know,
through
and
the
I don't know
fireball?
if it's the same like speed as his normal dash, or if it's actual the same speed as his V trigger dash and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. It looks like it's the same speed as his V trigger dash. It looks
It
absolutely
does look like
insane.
it. The problem is, guys, is that the footage is like only 6 seconds long. I don't understand why someone would like take out their phone, record like 6 seconds, and then just turn it off like mid-match. It's just weird to me.
Hmm.
Like, wouldn't you want to test this out thoroughly? But like I said, we weren't there, so at this point, we don't really know if it's true. Like, if this really is an intention of Capcom, maybe they're just trolling us at this point. I doubt they'd keep something like this in the game, but if they did, they'd have to keep it very grounded. You know, set distance. Like, but if it goes through fireballs, though, man, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know a way to balance this thing. It just seems too powerful,
So
honestly.
my main issue with it is like it undermines his V trigger because that was the whole point of his V trigger is that his
One
dash
of the big
was
things, yeah.
yeah. So it was like you give it to him regularly and he kind of like like the V trigger.
It loses kind of its like
Up.
the spice of it.
Yeah, yeah,
It makes his V trigger seem a little more plain.
yeah. So I hope
Because
it's
it
just a
activates like
glitch.
his psycho power, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. He loses some personality with it.
Yeah. So I'd rather they didn't keep that in.
Yeah.
Plus,
Yeah.
if it's as good as his V trigger dash, that's too overpowered for Bison to have regularly.
Nerf Nash, buff Bison. Oh, man. Okay. Let's see here. Is Inferno. That's the one where he like rises up his hand and the flames come up. You guys know that's not a charge move anymore, hopefully, because I've said it a couple times. But yeah, it's just the command. It's core circle back punch. All versions of it apparently are unsafe, except for the EX version, which is safe. This kind of makes sense because like now that's a command, you can combo into it very easily, like a crushing medium punch into Inferno. And then as a pressure string, it was really strong. Like doing knee press into, crushing medium punch into Inferno just did so much chip damage that to make all this safe, like Bison felt very plus on the Inferno, but it's got a lot of startup too, so I don't know. They're probably just messing around with it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of startup. Even on the EX version, there's a lot of startup. It's really, you can't really use the EX version as a reversal.
No.
You know what I mean?
But it was great as a pressure tool.
Yeah, yeah. An example is like if Bison does an Inferno, doesn't matter what strength, Ryu can DP it, or Necalli can do a crouching light punch and punish Bison with it. So it's probably like -3 or something like that. But the EX version is safe on block. Bison's V skill no longer builds super meter. You knew about that, right, Killy? That his V skill builds super meter and V gauge.
Yeah. In the original beta, in the breakdown, you did mention that.
Mm-hmm. But now it no longer builds super meter. It's just V gauge. But now on normal attacks and projectiles, it builds V gauge now. Before it only built V gauge on projectiles. So this is pretty much a buff.
Yeah.
But it, you know, with the huge system nerf of V skill's not building that much V gauge too, so there's that.
Mm-hmm.
Bison's crush counters now are his standing hard punch, crouching hard punch. I don't think it's crouching hard punch is a crush counter. Yeah, standing hard punch and standing hard kick are crush counters. This is a crazy buff because his slide being a crush counter was ass.
Yeah.
And extremely unsafe.
Like I like the fact that they're giving him an actual viable crush counter, but stand around how should not be his crush counter.
That is insane. That is insane as a crush counter.
Way too good as a crush counter. That normal is way too good with its current properties.
It can even be used as an anti-air, and then you can link it into super. Causes like a knockdown state when you juggle with it.
Plus on block.
It's beautiful.
Links into medium punch. Oh my god!
Hits crouching opponents.
That normal is really good.
Yeah, and the funny part is too, when we saw the trailer for Bison, everyone said, "Oh, standing hard kick got nerfed because it's not the big kick anymore." But it turns out it's just godly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's pretty godlike now.
That's awesome, man. I love it. I love it. With that being said, his slide is no longer a crush counter.
Yeah.
This is. I also heard that his slide is unsafe even at max range, but that's another comment that I'm like, I don't really believe that. But anyways, this is a crazy buff to Bison. His knee press, so his scissor kicks, this second hit can be super cancelled now. This is fucking crazy because... do I even need to explain why this is crazy? Okay, well, for one thing, like... Bison had problems comboing to his super from a light scissors because he wasn't deep enough. So if you do something like crouching light punch, standing light kick, light knee press, you couldn't combo super. The opponent would just be too pushed away. But now after the second hit, Bison's always going to be deep enough to link it to super. It makes it a longer hit confirm. You got to hit confirm for days to buffer this super now. Because before you had to buffer this thing pretty damn fast. So people are gonna get hit by Bison's super every day, every hour now. And then if that wasn't enough, they made it so you can now cancel Bison's second hit of his scissors into V trigger, and you can combo afterwards with like crouching medium punch, for example. That means Bison is gonna be he already is a combo beast. But now he is a combo beast.
That is a really good way, a good reliable way to hit confirm into V trigger, and then you get those EX
cancels.
Yeah, so that's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous change.
Yeah, you could do like, I'm just thinking the combo now. It'd be like jumping hard punch, standing hard punch into medium scissors, second hit V trigger cancel, crouching medium punch, scissors, EX blast, EX inferno. EX Inferno. I can't wait to do this combo. Lord Bison.
But
crazy buffs.
But they said the V trigger. I think his V trigger depletes faster now. And
honestly, have you ever finished a round Bison with like when your V trigger ran out? Like honestly, like I don't even think that matters. Okay, it depletes faster.
And the V trigger cancels apparently do less damage, which is not surprising at all.
That's not surprising. It did a lot of damage, man.
Too much damage.
Too much damage. I don't know about too much damage, but
too much damage.
Dude, they nerfed it from the E3 build, man. It did even more damage in the E3 build, so
yeah.
This is the second time they nerfed this damage.
So yeah, the damage output seems less. So fair. It's a fair change.
Oh my god, dude. Lord Bison.
But yeah, Bison
This fucking
overall.
character cracks me up so much.
God, just people don't realize it, but
People
they
don't
already
realize it. What do
have.
you mean people don't realize it? Everyone
No,
knows
no,
about it,
people
dude.
don't realize it right now. But
You're in denial, man. If
everyone
you don't,
has a
you're in
pocket
denial,
bison.
dude. If you don't really
Everyone
realize
has
it.
a pocket bison. They just don't realize it.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone has a pocket bison. You just don't know it yet. That's good, Killy. I like that. Lord Bison, dude. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, so that's it for the Street Fighter 5 changes. Let's finish this podcast up with talking about leaked list stuff and leaked characters and shit like that, and who we think are to be in the final roster of the game.
Okay.
But let's start with Ono's screenshot first, where Ono was in Mexico and he was posting 2 screenshots of like Aztec shit.
Yeah.
I don't know the specifics of it.
Okay, so the screenshots they showed in Mexico heavily hints at Urian stage from
Okay.
Third Strike. The other
Which
thing
was in
is,
Mexico, right?
yeah.
Okay.
The other thing is the images he tweeted out also end up showing in Nash's character art. So Nash's character
Really?
art, yeah, you see the background and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it has like those Aztec or whatever
The exact same ones or just similar?
similar ones.
Oh, okay.
So like
Scared me.
you see that in Nash's background in his character art that Capcom released. So kind of wondering whether it's supposed to be like Nash's stage or something, or does this actually hint at Urium himself? I don't know. Kind of hints more at with Urian himself, but yeah, I don't know. That's one thing to pick out.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think? Like, do you think this is hinting Urian?
It strongly hints that, but it's weird. I don't think it sounds like Urian won't be in the core 16 at the moment, unless he's like the final boss or something.
Yeah. So let's just talk about like the core 16 roster. I'll just show a picture on the screen of the roster right now, so you guys can have a better idea what it looks like. So right now we have 2 characters left, okay, because of the lead character Laura, right?
Yeah.
So there's 1 classic character left, and then there's 1 brand new character left, and then a certain someone. I don't really want to give out names to these people leaking, right? But a certain someone, like from the very beginning of this game's development, leaked the brand new characters coming to the game, leaked their names. And so we already kind of knew their names and kind of knew where they were from and what their fight styles were a little bit. So that's not much of a surprise. But what is a surprise is that, we have a ton of leak lists coming by, and then the one that's closest, I think it was posted on Facebook or some shit, but that list is like the most concrete we have so far. But even that leak list is not really correct because it doesn't have Vega on it.
Yeah.
But let me read it out. Hold on, I gotta find where it is. 1 second, I'm checking my desktop. Okay. So the leaked list that's closest says Ryu, Chun-Li, Bison, Nash, Birdie, Cammy, Mika, Zangief, Dhalsim, Jury, Karen, Ken, Urian, Alex. And then the brand new characters are Laura, Rashid, Zen, and then new boss character. Insinuating that Nakali is the boss character because he's not on this list. The problem with these leak lists is that a lot of people can simply just be taking the first person who gave out this information for the new characters and then just adding it to their leak list. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And the fact that like there is more than like 16 characters here, and there's more than like what's it called? There's no Vega.
Yeah.
Just kind of debunks it right off the hop.
Yeah.
But the leak list did say Zangief, and we did get Zangief as one of the classic characters. And having Dhalsim as the last classic character is very, very, very likely. Just because, like, he would totally fit in this roster. Especially when Capcom's trying to get, an archetype of every character in this game. Dhalsim is the last missing piece to this puzzle.
Yeah.
100%. Either Dhalsim or Necro. But then I'm telling you right now, there's not going to be no third strike characters in the 16 roster. But I'll explain that later. But anyways, Dhalsim, man, like I said, Necro. Dhalsim, because when you look at the combat cards on, where it says like power, mobility, and all that stuff, none of the characters have a max range stat. It just fits so well that it's Dhalsim and he has the max range stat. You know what I mean? So how would you feel if Dhalsim being the last classic character?
I say it fits within filling in that archetype, that character archetype, or the character playstyle, because there's no zoning character in the game. So Dhalsim would fit into that archetype. I personally don't really like Dhalsim as a character, and I think there's better ways to handle the kind of
anyone, man.
like. There's better ways to handle that zoning archetype, right? Without resorting to fireballs or resort to like stretchy limbs, right? Like, let's take Eagle for example.
Okay.
Eagle could fit that long range thing, right? Because he uses weapons, the batons, right? And his normals in CVS2 had super long range. Like if you looked at Eagle stand fierce, far stand fierce, and his crouch roundhouse, those things went like half screen, man. Those normals are ridiculous range.
His crouching hard kick was insane.
Yeah, it was insane. So like, there's different ways to handle the limb or like normal zoning, like zoning with normals archetype here. That I feel like Dhalsim's kind of just like, Like
that's understandable.
He fits, but he's kind of like,
But what I think's going on here is that they're getting World Warrior cast, and they're missing the Dhalsim archetype, and he's the only archetype from that genre. So, boom, Dhalsim. I'm saying there's a 90% chance Dhalsim's the last one.
Yeah, like 90%. I feel it's Dhalsim. It's gonna be Dhalsim.
Like 90% here. As soon as we see Ono's like hint tweet, we'll know right away, right?
Yeah.
With those clues. At first, I thought Dhalsim would get destroyed in Street Fighter V just because of all the anti-fireball tech. But now I'm starting to think about it. Like, with his limbs, man, first off, just him throwing out limbs at you, it's going to do recoverable damage every hit you block.
Yeah.
Like, that alone is insane pressure, right? So we got that. And then, like, if Ryu parries, like, his projectile, he's just going to get hit by a limb anyways, and it's going to be a counter.
Anyone who tries
to be a crush counter.
Anyone who tries to deal with Dhalsim's projectile with their anti-fireball V skill or whatever, you're gonna get smacked by a limb right afterwards.
That's true.
So it's like, and without focus attack, like it makes Dhalsim better.
Yeah.
Like the game engine just suits Dhalsim so well. So I think if Dhalsim makes it in, he could be a strong character. But it depends on the balancing and what they do, if what Capcom decides to do with the character. But there's a lot of potential to make him interesting. Like, look how much Zangief changed and stuff like that. Zangief is interesting. A lot of the classic characters are interesting because they made a lot of changes to their playstyle. Like Vega, Bison, stuff like that. Like these drastic changes to some of the characters. So. Yeah, like, while I think I'm not a big fan of Dhalsim, I think there's still a lot of potential to make him interesting from a gameplay perspective.
I'm actually kind of excited to see Dhalsim now. I'm kind of excited what they're going to do with him, really. It's going to be cool. What do you think his V-skill is going to be?
Yoga Tower?
That's what I thought too, but then I'm like, if it's Yoga Tower, then how's he going to gain V-gauge from it, you know what I mean? That's what kind of threw me off a little bit.
Could have a follow-up.
I don't think it'll be Yoga Tower. I think he's just gonna inhale projectiles.
Oh, I don't know. Who knows? Focus attack.
I think my buddy Nino said that on Twitter about inhaling projectiles. I think that's where I got that idea. But anyways, what about his V trigger? Catastrophe again?
I'd rather have that be a super, to be honest. I think that'd be interesting if that was just critical.
Yeah, for sure.
If
Zangief is pushing the opponent towards him, you think Dhalsim is something about pushing the opponent away?
That's a tough one. Or he has an escape tool, like maybe teleports or something like that.
Allows him to be able to do teleports?
Yeah.
Maybe. Make him super fast.
Rush down Dhalsim.
I hope they make Dhalsim like the EX version of Dhalsim. The Street Fighter EX version of Dawson was hilarious, man. He's got a command grab and shit.
I want to see the Rushdown Dawson.
Oh.
Rushdown Dawson was sick, man. Remember the Oh god, the lockdown.
They're not gonna make him rush down, dude. Especially in this game.
You know how funny that'd be, just seeing Rushdown Dawson?
Oh, it's just totally like not what the character is for.
I know, but it's just
totally
I love
troll.
it. I love it.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yo, Rushdown Dawson, please. Please. I want to see it again.
Oh my
ST
God.
Rushdown Dawson.
So yeah, going back to Urian. Let's go back to Urian here.
Okay.
So, looking at the current roster, and then looking at the leaked lists and all the information we're getting, we only have 2 characters left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Ono hints a pincher about Urian.
Mm-hmm.
We look at the roster, there's not a single third strike character on the list. We have 8 World Warrior characters, 4 Alpha, and then 4 brand new.
Mm-hmm.
This leads us to believe that the first, not DLC, but the first characters they add to the game are third strike characters.
Yeah.
This actually makes a lot of sense from a business standpoint.
Oh, yeah.
Because Alex and Urian are hella popular. They're hella high on that poll of list of characters. And they're going to want their initial characters to start rolling in the money. They're going to want it to be very desirable characters. Notice Akuma's not even there. Like, extremely popular characters will be added to the future.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a good idea on Capcom's part. Of course, you can still use in-game money to get these characters. So don't worry about that if you don't want to spend cash. But it's going to be a grind. They're going to make it a grind, dude, to get these characters.
The grind is real.
There's going to be people like me that are just going to spend the money and just get the character right off the hop.
Yep, it's going to be money versus time.
Yep. That's exactly what it's going to be, dude.
Because
exactly
people are already accustomed to it in MOBAs, so it's not... Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if they adopted that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. You know, I'm just happy it's all going to be on one disc. And, yeah. Capcom already confirmed they're not going to have these characters already on the disc. Don't worry, they're not gonna... You think Capcom will seriously make that mistake again? There's no fucking way, dude. Yeah, they'll be implemented to the game later. But with this Urian stage hint from Ono in Mexico, it's very, very likely, especially with the leak list has Alex and Urian on it, it's very likely that Urian and Alex will be like the first characters revealed. They'll be added to the game later. You agree?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a pretty good bet.
So maybe they'll add 4 third strike characters, and then like they'll just keep jumping between games, or you think it'll just be all mixed up in a jumble?
No, I think they'll do it in blocks, like third strike, and then the next.
Maybe they'll have like a third strike pack,
something like that. Yeah,
like a third strike bundle, you know.
So also like another thing to mention, so that interview with Matt Dahlgren, or however you pronounce his last name. I think he's like the PR manager.
Yeah, we met him. We met him at E3.
Yeah.
He kicked us off the machine.
He did. We had to demo it to some to media. But anyways, he said the next beta phase with the PC and PS4 crossplay stuff. They said they kind of hinted that not necessarily all the characters would be available. They might like rotate some out. So
in the phase 2 beta.
Yeah. So there might be a
I'm
character
kind of worried about that because I want to
rotation.
test so much shit. You know, I want it all available to me. So
there might be a character rotation of some sort. That, or they're testing their content delivery system again. But yeah, based on what he said, it kind of either hints at they're testing content delivery system again or a character rotation system, which would be kind of interesting. Maybe they would do it with their DLC characters. I'm not sure, because the game is not going to be free to play. Game will be, you have to buy the disc first before you can play the game. So I don't think they would do a character rotation with a free to play model if you're going to have to buy the disc. So maybe either the demo has a character rotation, or maybe when there's enough DLC characters, they might try character rotation.
Yeah, I could totally see that too. But like I said, I hope we at least have the initial 6 characters, man. I really want to document the changes on them, you know?
Yeah.
And figure out what the hell they changed up to this point. Because that stuff interests me. But yeah, man, so, like I said, just having Zangief come out really snowballed information to us on the leaked list, and then, like, you know, confirming things and really kind of seeing how these characters are going to be released. And then finally, let's talk about the leaked character, Laura. So Like I said, guys, I didn't post a video about this because I was scared about Capcom. I was just scared.
Scared of the Capcoms.
It wasn't worth the risk because, like, you know what I mean? Having my channel debunked for another, like, 7 months, man. I don't want to go through that again. So, we'll just wait till she's, like, officially released. But we could talk about her on the podcast for sure.
Yeah.
And screenshots should be pretty damn easy for you guys to find, man. Just go on Event Hubs. Anyway, so Laura got leaked from a Famitsu magazine. On the website.
Yeah.
I guess right beside the Zangief screenshots, they had the Laura screenshots. I don't know how someone fucked that up, but they lost their job for sure. That guy is done. So whoever leaked those by accident. That was just kind of like ugh, dude, seriously? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and Ono was super salty about it, dude. Did you see his tweet?
Yeah.
He was super salty, dude. He was like, I feel like I got stabbed in the back or some shit. And he's like, get out of my way.
Dude, Ono wanted to troll hard.
Oh, dude, it would have been the easiest troll ever.
He would have showed the electricity, and then he put the blanket toy right in front of him.
Yeah, and
like, look, he's coming back.
Yeah, it's like, we see electricity in Brazil. Who could this be? And everyone would be like, oh, that's fucking Blanca. It would have been a really good troll. It would have been. So, I do feel bad.
Yeah,
I do feel bad about it. Like it's exciting for people to see leaks and stuff, but like we already got Zangief. We're getting a lot of characters, guys, in a short amount of time. You know, it really kind of spoils it. I kind of feel bad about it. It really sucks for the team and how they're presenting it. It always sucks for them, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of felt bad about it, but we don't know too much about the character. You know what I mean? We just know her name. Well, we already knew her name like a year ago, but
know what she looks like now.
So, I guess there's not much we can talk about. We're just judging off the screenshots, but it looks like her fighting style is like what?
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, maybe capoeira.
Brazilian, yeah, Jiu-Jitsu or capoeira, or should I say capoeira? But yeah, like I don't know, man. That's basically what it looks like. I wouldn't say it's like an Elena clone or some shit like that.
No.
Or a Christie clone from Tekken or something. You know, it looks like she has a combination of grabs and weird,
strikes.
dancing attacks or whatever.
So I'm kind of wondering whether she's a grappler character or she's a hybrid type of character.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it looked like she had a projectile.
Yeah, but
we
can't judge the range from the screenshot. It's like kind of short range, but she's got, like I said, she's got this whole lightning thing about her too. So I don't know. Her V trigger might be her grab because I'm like looking at the screenshots and the only picture where she has 0 V trigger and low health is like her grabbing the opponent or something.
She could have counters. Like it's really hard to tell.
It really is hard to tell. We don't have much information, guys. We just know what she looks like. What do you think aesthetically?
I'm okay with the design. Like, yeah, there's people complaining about design for a whole bunch of different reasons. I don't want to get into that. I'm okay with the design itself. I don't care either way.
Like, you talking like the tone of her skin and shit?
Yeah. Also, like her costume itself, and then the hairstyle. Some people love it. Other people don't like it. That kind of thing.
The hairstyle. I don't know.
Some people even compare it to.
People always like to bicker about the weirdest shit, dude.
Yeah, man, it's dumb.
When I read in the forums, I'm just like, dude, why are we even talking about this, man?
People are comparing her to porn star Christy Mack. Like,
oh yeah.
That is pretty funny.
You know, there is other people besides Christy Mack who has that hairstyle. Just
yeah, man.
So you guys know,
trending hairstyle.
Holy shit, man! Seriously.
Like,
yeah, I saw that too. I was like, what the fuck? But I don't know. Like, I guess because we don't have any information, there's nothing else to talk about, really. But
yeah, I know, but I don't know. People nitpicking over the dumbest things. I'd rather focus on like, okay, what's she gonna play like? Like, it'll get revealed.
We're going to see very soon.
Yeah, 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks. Either way, very very in October.
Yeah,
we're
month.
Gonna see in October at the Brazil Game Show.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see gameplay. We're gonna see the trailer. We're not gonna get trolled this time, and yeah, man, I can't wait to see some gameplay footage, and the trailer. That's going to be cool. And then, with all this being said, the last character, which is a brand new character, the leaked list says the character's name is Zen. I don't know where the character's going to be from. But the character's name is just Zen. It could be the boss character.
Yeah.
Because Nikali hasn't been really, portrayed as a boss character.
Yeah.
Or he could not be a boss character, and then we'll have a 17th character, which is the boss character. Might be the final reveal. You said during Capcom Cup. Would be the
Yeah,
best point.
I think it's probably
They
the
need something
smartest.
big for Capcom Cup, man.
Like you gotta hold a reveal for Capcom Cup.
The
And it's-
reveals have been weird, dude, because like we're gonna get Zangief, and we're probably gonna get Dalsum, and people are kind of lose hype a little bit because people don't really care about these characters.
Yeah. But Zen would be a good reveal. But I think the way I would like to see it play out, because they've been playing it smart in terms of revealing the character from their country of origin, right?
Yeah.
Because
They
was
didn't
it?
do it at the
Rashid
start,
was
but now
was
they're trying to do it, yeah.
revealed at Dubai. What else? Karen was revealed at Tokyo. Zangief was revealed in Russia.
Yeah.
We're gonna get Laura
Christy
revealed
Mack
at
will be in
Brazil.
Brazil. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think the probably like Sim in India or whatever, and then I think there's supposed to be like another reveal in India. I could be mistaken.
Oh, okay.
Um,
If there's a character reveal in India, dude, like
It's
it's
a Sim.
Dalsum.
yeah,
Like, are you kidding me?
I think I heard that. I could be mistaken. Like,
Okay.
don't quote me on that.
Okay.
And then like Zen, wherever he gets revealed, and then I would like to see a 17th reveal
As a
at
boss character?
Capcom Cup. Yeah,
Oh.
as the
Dude,
boss
Capcom
character.
Cup's got to be a big reveal. It has
It's got to
to
be,
man.
and preferably, I would hope would be
Yeah.
Urian.
Yeah.
But the one thing that like Capcom used to, when they were revealing the like Nash and Bison stuff,
Mhm.
they teased it. They teased it in the previous characters trailer. Like remember when?
Oh, like Killer Instinct styles? Yeah.
Yeah, like they remember when Nash was first teased. Like you see his face and stuff. Like it was a pretty obvious like reveal, but you didn't get to see his gameplay, right? But it was a tease. And then when Nash's trailer dropped, he teased Bison at the
So
end.
they stretched out the hype, basically.
And then when Bison's trailer came out, they teased Nikali, right? And then afterwards, they just stopped with the teaser.
Yeah, that's a good point.
No, it was not. It wasn't Bison. It was Ken's trailer. When Ken's trailer revealed, they teased Nikali, and then they just stopped. And I'm like, that's a little bit disappointing. I want to see them to
Yeah,
kind
that's
of like.
weird, hey? Well, I guess technically they teased Laura a little bit.
You could do so many things with those teasers. Like, dude,
Yeah.
if you were to tease Urian, there would be so many ways to do it. Like, all you'd hear is like maybe like the window. Like Aegis Reflector.
No, man, you
sound,
just hear a suit getting ripped up to shreds,
or
dude.
something. Like you could
That's
just
all
hear
you
the
fucking
Aegis
need.
Reflector sound effects, and all of a sudden it's like,
Or the Crazy Chili Dog soundtrack.
crush or die or what something like prepare to die or whatever like that. Like one of
Oh,
Urian's,
dude, that'd be fucking hype, dude.
yeah, like one of Urian's trademark phrases, and all you hear is just the window crashing and a trademark phrase.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know how much hype that'd be from.
It would be a lot more hype than a stupid screenshot with a Blanca toy beside it, that's for sure.
Yeah, so like, there's so many things that Capcom could have done with these with the later reveal trailers, like by teasing the next character, and there's like missed opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they stopped doing that. I thought it would have been, kind of missed that part.
Yeah, so we pretty much know what the roster is at this point, man. We just gotta see how these characters play out and how they're gonna deal with the Third Strike characters. The biggest thing to take from this, guys, is that don't worry if your favorite character's not in the game.
They're coming as DLC.
They're coming as DLC. Well, it's not DLC, but yeah, whatever. They're coming, okay?
They're coming.
They're coming. Every fucking character is gonna be in this game. Capcom. This is Capcom's golden boy game. You know what I mean? They're going hard on this. Sony's going hard on this.
Yeah.
It's going esports. We're gonna get every character.
Sports,
Don't
man.
worry.
Sports
Your
now.
character is in a line. It's just a question of where he is in that line,
Yeah.
right? So, this Core 16 cast, I could have never have guessed it if I go back a year.
Yeah.
I also don't agree with it either.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, right? We have the cast. We have some favorites. We have some characters that people don't want. At least Blanca's not there.
Yes.
So there's that, right? But he's coming. Blanca's coming at some
Oh
point.
yeah, he's coming.
He's coming.
They're all coming,
They're all coming, whether you want to or not.
except for Volcano Russo, an EX character.
Volcano. Dude, Doctrine Dark, man.
OS EX characters and Rival School characters.
Yeah, it's true. Well, with Karen, everything's possible now. What do you think about the Zangief stage? We didn't really talk about that.
I think it's fine. I mean, it's like a throwback to his old stage, so yeah.
So we got the Zangief stage, Russia stage, Brazil stage, Japan stage, China stage, London stage, and New Zealand stage.
Yeah,
Is it New Zealand?
something like that.
Yeah. So it's kind of good. I want more colors, more bright colors, please. Like those new Guilty Gear, like Revelator stage. Oh my
Yeah,
God,
they're pretty
dude.
sick. As long
Oh
as the
my
stages
God.
don't cause
I
lag,
want.
additional lag when you play online, I'm okay.
Only you think about that shit, man.
Dude, I want a smooth online experience. I don't need excess stuff to make the online experience worse.
Oh my God, dude.
Any little thing to make that online experience as smooth as possible is important. That's priority number one.
We'll see, man. They got a year. The Neko will probably be the same, dude.
Yeah, probably.
It'll probably be the same. Let's be realistic. Yeah, so I guess, guys, let us know what you think about first the Urian hint from Ono. Is it a Urian hint? Is it too much of a coincidence that Ono was in Mexico and showed some Aztec ruins that happened to be in the Urian stage, that happened to be in Mexico, that's also on the leaked list? Will he be part of the 16-core roster? Highly unlikely. But he's most likely coming very soon around the corner, along with every other third strike character, man. Alex, high chance too. Like I said, the first two third strike characters in the ads got to be Urian and Alex. It just makes so much sense.
Yeah.
According to the polls, the leak list, everything. But they won't reach the core 16. Last classic character, Dulcim. Do you agree with me, Killy?
I do.
He fits. He's a World Warrior character. They need that archetype. There's no character with a max range stat on these dumb cards they keep showing us. It's gotta be Dulcim. Laura, you excited to see Laura gameplay footage?
Yeah. I want to see how she plays.
All the new characters I'm really interested in seeing how they're bringing new playstyles to the game. And then the last character, Zen. What kind of character do you think is going to be? Weapon-based character? I was hoping for a weapon-based character. That's me.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Like if I told you, from like Rashid, I was hoping for a character with a DBZ scouter and a jetpack backpack. You would be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" So it could be anything, dude. At this point,
He's
you know
not
what I mean?
Sea Viper, man. Sea Viper has all the gadgets. She had gadgets too.
Oh my god, it's true. It's true. So yeah, Zen, last character. Or would Capcom be like, "No, man, we're gonna prove these leaks wrong. We're gonna have our fourth brand new character is not gonna be named Zen." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll see. Could be a boss character. But I definitely think Dulcim is the last core character.
Yeah, I think so too.
Two left guys. And then we'll go third strike from there.
Who's next?
One thing, too, is that on the leak list, it also shows Jerry.
Yeah.
Out of all the Street Fighter 4 characters, Jerry is definitely the most popular.
Mm-hmm.
When I brand new to Street Fighter 4, sorry.
Yeah.
Jerry is definitely the most popular. So I can see here, if they want to bring some Street Fighter 4 characters, there's not too many, though. Like, if they're going to pick 4 from Street Fighter 4, it'd be like, Jerry, Rufus, and... You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Dude. I really don't want to see Rufus or Abel again. Or El Fuerte. Everyone doesn't want to see El Fuerte again.
Except for Peppadai.
It's okay. Peppadai can use Rashid now. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of the Street Fighter 4 characters, honestly.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, right? There's going to be a fan of every type of character.
Yeah.
So, is there a franchise we're missing here? I guess it's pretty much just, we can go from there, like, just finding characters from everywhere at this point.
Yeah. Street Fighter 1, man, they need to revisit that. Bring back Eagle.
That's a good idea. That's definitely a good idea. Yeah, they could do whatever from this point, man. The game's going to be super overwhelming. It's going to be like the Ultra Street Fighter 4 Select stream pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so many characters. And they can add mechanics to the game later, too. Like, they can add more V-skills for characters.
Yeah.
Or V-triggers. There's a lot of room here to be added to the
potential.
game, honestly.
Yeah, a lot of customization potential.
Yeah, they do. They do, for sure.
Kind of wondering if Latif would play SF5. I mean, Viper's not in it.
What, he only likes Viper?
Yeah, he said he wouldn't play SF4 if it wasn't for Viper.
Really? Like,
yeah.
Blackmailing Capcom?
So I'm just wondering, like, is he going to play SF5? Or is he going to go back to Guilty Gear? Because he was one of the best Guilty Gear players in North America.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He won Evo 1 year.
Really? I didn't know that. I did not know that.
He was a Guilty Gear player.
Oh man. I don't know. Honestly, I think everyone's just gonna play this game at some point. So
At some point, yeah.
yeah, maybe
Their
not
character,
competitively, but at
eventually
some
their
point.
character will make it back in, and then the hype train begins, and
Yeah,
then you get those influx of players.
yeah, for sure. Okay, well, we're at the 2 hour mark, 2 hour and 20 minutes. Like I said, it was gonna be a long podcast.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
knew
it was
for
gonna be
sure.
a
When
long
I was
one.
looking at the notes, I knew it was gonna be long. So, anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed listening to this podcast. If you have any suggestions for future topics that you would like me and Kelly to talk about, go ahead and leave a comment below in the video. Also, let us know if you think Dawson will be the last character, or if you have someone else in mind, and what are your general thoughts on the lead character of Laura and Zangief in general, and just pretty much everything that we talked about. Anyways, yeah, it's pretty late, man. I'm gonna work on some stuff. Kelly, you gonna head to sleep soon?
Probably.
Yeah, dude, I finished watching Mr. Robot, dude.
Oh,
It
shit.
was intense. Those last 3 episodes, man, was like a roller coaster ride. Cause I was like, I'm gonna watch one more episode, and then after like episode 8, dude, I was like, oh, dude, I'm in too deep, right? I gotta finish it up.
Gotta
Then
finish
I had
it.
to snowball the last 3, dude. It was like, wow, man. If you guys haven't watched Mr. Robot, watch that. It's good, man. It's good to have some better TV shows to watch, because like lately there hasn't been too many good ones. But yeah, man, those last 3 episodes were great. But anyways, guys, that's it for this podcast. Take care.